Hello, brave adventurers. Welcome to, I think, what we can best describe as an experiment. In fact, no, the best description would probably be utter chaos. Welcome to Ren D&D. This is a game that is so improvised, none of us are prepared for anything, not even this intro, so I have no idea what I'm going to say to you guys. I'm just doing a quick check. Can you guys on the stream hear us? Because levels don't seem to be bouncing. So I'm going to give the stream a couple of seconds to say whether they can hear us or not, and we will see how that goes. Yeah, I can. Okay, I've got a can hear me well, at least. I guess that's the important bit. So the way that this game is going to work is I am joined by, as you can see on screen, we've got RaeRae up at the very, very top because she has a very important role this evening. She is the only one of us that is going to be an actual player in this game. The other four of us are going to alternate between DM and player randomly. The way that it's going to work is I'm going to start out as the DM and everybody else is going to be a player. RaeRae is going to roll a dice. She's not going to tell us what the results of that D20 are, but when that many number of minutes... No, she's going to roll a dice. Get used to it. When going to roll a die, and when that many number of minutes has elapsed, she is going to interrupt us by yelling switch or change or just something to get our attention, and we're going to have to switch DM. I will switch to Ostron, Ostron will switch to Rio will switch to Tony, and Tony will switch back to me. This could happen every minute, this could happen every 20 minutes. Who knows? Couple of rules that we need to go over, though. Firstly, we are allowing people to use potions as bonus actions, just to speed up any sort of healing that might need to be done. Secondly, we're all level 3, and we're just using standard characters that we've generated. We'll talk about the characters a little bit more in a second. And thirdly, the only exception to not being able to change player is if we're currently in the middle of combat, because handing off combat to another DM is a little bit tricky to do at best. So... all right, we shall see how this goes. So to kick things off, RaeRae, why don't you tell us who you are playing this evening? Mm-hmm. Okay, and all right, Ryu, what about you? Okay, just bear with me 2 seconds. Where apparently they're not able to hear us on the street, or they're able to hear me. They're not able to hear you guys. I'm just looking at why. Please stand by. Live stream. Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at right now. Discord audio wise. Yeah, I'm not sure. There we go.
A lot of things happen to you on the other show.
Because we do a lot of shows.
You should now be able to hear Ostron, and you should now be able to hear Tony. I can see the levels peaking. That was probably what I was missing from the first one. Okay, gonna start that again. RaeRae, who are you playing this evening?
I am playing a baby version of Amani that everybody saw me play this morning in Indigo's game. Level 3 instead of level 5.
And for people that are listening to this recording separately later on after the fact, who might not have listened to the other thing, who is Amani?
Oh, okay. Right. Amani is an Air Genasi bard, and she's fabulous.
Okay, and Ryu, who are you going to be playing this evening?
I am playing a wild magic sorceress named QWERTY. She's a gnome. Her name is an acronym. It stands for Quick-Witted, Undeniably Energetic, Radically Talkative Intellect.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Friends with Rostro, maybe? I don't know. Speaking of Rostro, Ostron, who are you playing this evening?
I am playing a 2 meter or 6 foot 8 inch tall Leonin death clerk named Carl.
Carl, the death clerk. Okay.
Carl.
Yes.
Okay.
And Tony, what about you?
I am playing Erevan, a half elf who is a rogue paladin.
The Erevan?
Yes, much like Amani, he's babied down a little bit from what you.
I remember him.
Yeah,
yes,
I was going to say.
Ray remembers too. Right, he's been nerfed a bit, but yeah, it's that guy.
All right, and I'm going to be playing an elven arcane archer by the name of Alarahel, because apparently I like insane alliteration, and I didn't even realize that until I said that sentence. So
Ta-da.
that's how it's going to go. Like I said, we haven't prepared anything. All that we've got to hand is our character sheets, D&D Beyond, and we're just going to see how this goes. So RaeRae, if you want to roll your D20 for time, don't tell us what it is, and I'm going to kick
I
things
won't.
off. So, the world is veiled in darkness. The wind has stopped, the seas are raging, and the earth begins to rot. The people wait, their only hope, a prophecy. In times of darkness, 4 warriors of light will step forward and restore balance to the world. They couldn't make it today, though, so we've got the rest of you. The camera pans through an impressive palace, marble floor, red carpet, big high stone arches lead up to points so far off in the ceiling. The king is sat on his throne, and the 3 of you walk in. As you make your way up, observing the proper protocols, passing the rows of guards, the king's
Where's the
assistant...
4th one of us?
Well, the 4th one is... Oh, wait, yes, the 4 of you. The 4 of you. There are 4 of you. The 4 of you.
You're going to make one of us do a dramatic entrance later or something like that. I'm like, I'm down. I just need to know who it is.
Unprepared? Okay, so as the 4 of you walk towards the throne, the king's assistant is stood by his side, and the king says, I presume this is those warriors of light you were telling me about. The assistant says, no, sir, I'm afraid they couldn't make it. This is the next best thing. We don't really have a name for them yet, but we've heard great things about them. And the king turns back and says, well, Vermicelli, this better be good. As you all approach... Yes, Vermicelli is the king's aide's name. As you approach the throne, you all bow, kneel, curtsy, whatever your tradition is. And the king says, brave adventurers, as you know, this world is in a terrible state. Luckily, we have found a way to defeat the chaos demons that have been running rampant over our nation. We need you to retrieve the artifact of exuberant exsanguination. The problem is, we're not quite sure where it is. Our sages have narrowed it down to one of 2 locations. 3, but we're ruling out one of them because it's near Pizza Hut. It is either the caves in the east or the jungles in the south. We need you to take up this quest. And then he stops and goes, Vermicelli, aren't there supposed to be 5 of them? Yes, sir. We don't know where the 5th one is. He appears to not be here right. I'm sure he'll catch up later. It'll be fine. Very well. In that case, brave warriors, it is up to you which path you choose to investigate. I can't tell you what lies at the end of either of these, but hopefully somewhere will be the artifact of exuberant exsanguination. Find it, return it. You will have the eternal thanks of the kingdom, riches beyond wildest dreams. And he looks over towards Erevan. And maybe a princess or 2. If they're willing. It's up to them. We're a modern country. I'm not going to force them into it. Anyway, adventurers, go forth, do what you need. Stop at the town first to gather supplies if you need them before you head out. Otherwise, we wish you well in your quest. If you have any questions, my assistant Vermicelli will be able to answer anything that you may need to know.
Okay, I have a question. How do you know that the exuberant exsanguination artifact might be in either of these 2 places?
This is it's complex. Basically, how well versed are you in magic?
I'm a sorceress.
Right. Okay.
I guess I didn't really learn anything. It just kind of came to me.
Sure. So for anybody who's more of a bookish nature,
I
basically,
do like books.
I mean, they are pretty good, but it's essentially through a use of extraordinary divination magic, we've been able to pick up 2 artifactual pings from these locations. They both match the profile, but only one of them will be the real artifact.
Okay.
What's the other thing then?
We don't know. We figured that, should you happen to come across it, then you know that it'll be the fake, and you can go to the other one.
That sounds
So are we on
also
a-
dangerous.
So are we
Indeed
on
it
a
is, but
time
that's
crunch?
why- yes, but it'll, about 2.25 hours in real life time, whatever that translates to D&D time. That's how long we've got to complete this quest. But yes, you are going to have to go as a matter of urgency. You said it sounded mighty dangerous. Indeed, that is why we got the 4 bravest warriors in the land. And the king peeks up and goes, I thought you said there were 5. Yes, sorry, sir. 5 wisest adventurers in the land, but we don't know where the other one has gone.
It's okay. He's only good at opening locks anyway, and you told us we're either going to a cave or a jungle, so he'll probably be mostly useless. So we may not even need him at all.
Oh, and if
Maybe
that is
the
your
jungle?
observation-
What'd you say?
Sorry, what was that?
He might be somewhat useful in the jungle, but yeah, cave he's probably just dead weight at best.
He also makes a lot of noise when he walks, so I don't know if he's going to be any good at sneaky either. He's basically kind of a klutz. It will be fine, Your Majesty. We'll just hit the town real quick. I find myself a quart low on healing potions, so probably we ought to go there and spend. Unless you've got some handy here that you would just throw in as part of the job.
He looks at Vermicelli. Vermicelli bows and disappears and comes back a couple of minutes later, hands you all 1 regular healing potion each. So feel free to add that to your inventories.
Yes, this kingdom overflows with generosity. And Aravan bows to hide his smirk. But he'll put the potion in his inventory.
The Vermicelli does respond back saying, I mean, I see what you're saying, but you have to understand we have been ravished by these chaos demons for quite some time now, and the bridge that goes to the country to the north is the border is currently closed.
Point of order: ravished.
Ravaged.
What kind of chaos demons are we talking about
Ravaged.
here?
I'm terribly sorry. It's clearly what I speak with a much more refined vocal inflection than people of your standing are used to. So, yes, ravaged.
Well, I'm up for a good ravaging back, a revenge ravage, if you will.
I
Revenge
won't,
ravage. I like that.
So unless I'll look over at the party. Unless any of you need anything in town, he'll pat his backpack and go. I of course am ready to leave at a moment's notice.
Is there anything at
always
all
ready
that
to
might
travel.
narrow down which of the 2 locations is more likely to be?
Switch.
Ostron, you can answer that. Quick point of order.
So-
As the DMs switch, the DM that has now become the player has about 30 seconds to introduce their character to the scene. So the doors slam open at the back, and Alara Hell goes, "Oh, did I miss anything?"
Not much.
Okay, good. My alarm didn't go off. Sorry. Your Highness, you were saying.
The king looks at Vermicelli in confusion. Vermicelli gestures to the rest of the party as to whether they want to fill Alarahel in or just.
We'll get him on the way out. If you could, is there one more of those healing potions for the latecomer here?
At that point, Carl hands the one that he was given over to Alarahel and says, I can't believe that we're supposed to go into this blind. I'm going to run out and check some of my contacts in the town. And he walks out without waiting for anyone else, leaving the rest of you standing in the audience room.
Helpful.
I guess maybe we'll go get something to eat before we leave, I suppose, while we wait for him to do whatever it is that he thought was so necessary to leave us. Come on, RaeRae, we'll fill you in.
Okay, fine. Let's
Something about pizza and pasta or something.
Pasta. I could go for a real good plate of rotini right now.
Right, well, Alarahel will bow and start making his way out. Kind of ashamed that he's arrived so late to the party, literally.
Well, thanks, Vaseline. I think we should. I think we should check out the jungle first. Personally,
I don't know. People hide a lot of good stuff in caves.
True.
yeah,
mean,
but
It's like a rule or
I
something.
like jungles better.
like jungles better.
I'm a
Okay.
forest gnome.
I
I mean, they are more pleasant than caves.
except for the poison, stinging whatevers you find there.
But
You can
sunlight.
find those in caves too.
That's not a bad point.
The
Is
other
anybody
thing that I
hungry
know
before
about
we go?
jungles is that there are temples. We could have to go into a temple of doom, for example, to retrieve such an artifact. At least that would be my assumption. I might be wrong.
I don't know. Weird stuff happens in places called Temple of Doom.
Creepy stuff.
Before as we're walking out of the castle, Aravan will go. We got a map or something, right? Telling us where those pings got pinpointed or something, right?
No worries. I have a map here, and Alarahel, kind of a fan of maps. The case he pulls it out of is slightly crusty around the outside. Don't ask any
Ew.
questions. And pulls the map and unfurls it and puts it out in front, and you can see a clear lay of the land.
Okay, and so, did this a question for Ostron, the DM? Need a ruling here. Did we get enough information from Vaseline Acelli to mark out on the map where we're supposed to go, either the jungle or the caves? You're muted, Ostron.
Yes, the map is sort of comically simplistic. It's basically
It's
this is an island nation. So there's the capital city, literally dead center in the island, or at least as close as you can get. And then there is one mountain range to the north. There's a river that splits the island completely in half. And then on the southwest section of the map, there is a large forest labeled the forest. And then to the southeast, there is a low hill region, and it just says caves. And those are basically the landmarks.
I really hope that this forest down here is the jungle they were talking about, because if not, it's not on this map.
Jungles are like a forest, only humid. But maybe we'll take this back to Vacinelli and see if he can maybe mark this map for us to figure out where we're supposed to go.
Did you guys actually leave the audience chamber?
I think we just started leaving.
Yeah, we
we were
out.
like in the process of walking out.
Yeah.
Like this, apparently.
Yes. little fingers. We did that. That's right.
Hey, Valentine, can you mark this map a little bit better for us?
Oh yes, terribly sorry. And by the way, for anyone who doesn't already know, I don't do voices, so I'm sorry. Lennon's
dare you.
performance was wonderful. It won't be repeated.
By you.
By me, anyway, yes. So Vermicelli says, oh yes, terribly sorry. The royal cartographer has an issue with
Oh my.
long trips off country, and they haven't quite caught up on their sleep schedule. So we've over 2 decades of careful research and consideration, we've determined that the forest is actually a jungle, but we haven't managed to update the maps appropriately. So yes, the forest down there actually is more appropriately a jungle type terrain.
When you got
What's
your
this
magic
river's
sonar
name?
ping.
Oh,
No,
go ahead.
Aravan also like to know what the river's name is.
Okay.
the North-South River.
The North-South
Okay.
River, named after
Yes.
the famous explorer Bob North-South.
Mm.
Yes. All right.
Love
So,
that
but-
guy.
Can you mark where your magic artifact sonar pinged on this so we know exactly where we're going?
Well, yeah, as far as we can tell, they're pretty much dead center in the land. Do you see the R in the forest?
Yes. Yes.
The little
Like the hole in the middle.
yeah, the D shape is roughly where
Okay.
that
Good.
ping was.
Good. Okay. And for the caves, I'm going to assume it's in the middle of the A. in
Yes,
cave.
yes, very good, very intuitive of you. It was excellent,
Excellent.
excellent deduction.
Excellent. I'm glad. And look, I see a faint dotted line that loops back in on itself, going to the caves, and one that goes straight to the jungle. I see these faint dotted lines here going right to that exact spot. It's like a road or trail. It seems to me.
No, actually, that was somebody. There was an accident with a rolling pin and a bit of ink in a dye pot.
Oh, no.
So I wouldn't make
bad.
much of those.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good to know. Hopefully that other guy gets back soon. Carl checking on his sources.
Yes, hopefully. Also, hopefully, as there is some urgency to this, you will all make your way in one of those directions forthwith.
Well, we haven't
Okay.
decided yet.
Well, according to the map, unfortunately, it looks like the caves are closer, even though I'd much rather go to the jungle first. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with going to either one. However, being somewhat of a connoisseur of maps, I actually have nothing to add to this. Never mind. I just wanted it to be known
job.
as a connoisseur of maps.
In that case, maybe
I'm
we
fine
should.
with going wherever we can get the best story.
In that case, maybe we should flip a dragon and try to decide there.
Flip a dragon.
Yeah.
Like an,
One of these.
Do you
And she
happen to have
Oh.
one, like
One
in
of
your
pulls out a
pocket?
coin. She pulls out a
Oh, that
dragon
kind of
coin.
dragon.
From Watergate. Yeah.
Well, when it's you.
You're
Never
not
mind.
wrong.
I know.
So presumably the dragon has like a heads and tails, or is it like wing to wing? How are we?
I think there's a face of somebody on one side and like an actual dragon on the other side, but I don't actually remember because I haven't looked at them in a while.
So
But-
heads are dragons.
Yeah.
So in that case, I guess we're flipping a coin. Heads north, tails. Sorry, heads cave, tails
I don't
forest.
happen to have one.
All right,
Jungle.
I'm flipping. I got tails, so dragon.
Tails, so dragon.
Oh yeah, it was the dragon side.
Tails equals
Tails is the
dragon.
dragon side.
I would.
Airman says, "I forget which one was which. Was
Come on,
Tails
keep
the
up,
cave,
Lennon,
was
keep up.
Tails, Was Tails
Head-
the cave? Tails the
Heads was
jungle?
the cave and tails was the jungle. I thought.
Looks like we're heading to the jungle then.
Woo!
All right. Are we
Let's
gonna
go.
wait for Carl or just leave that guy?
He knows whether
we're-
going to one or the other. I'm
We'll
sure
leave him
he-
a note. We'll just leave him a note on
We'll
the
leave
door,
a note with. We'll leave a
and
note
he can
with,
follow us.
Right. We'll leave a note with Venus de Milo here, and he'll get it. Thanks, buddy.
Oh my god.
I'm going to quickly
die
scribble,
before we're done.
scribble on a note, and I want to run back into the audience chamber and hand it to Vermicelli. Can you give this to Carl for us if he should catch up?
You hear QWERTY in the background say, "Thanks, Vienna."
And when Vermicelli opens the note, it just says, "Carl, we've gone to the caves of the jungle."
Oh no.
Noted.
Hopefully he's a really good guesser.
All right.
All right. So you walk. I presume at this point you actually leave the castle.
Yeah.
You should leave.
That's the plan.
Okay. So is there was mention of food? Is that actually occurring, or was that just a pipe dream?
I don't know. It was something about
Eh,
Pizza Hut or
Well, we're avoiding the Pizza Hut. That was the place
Oh,
that they crossed
gotcha.
off the list.
Okay.
Yeah, but Aravan was just suggesting going to get something to eat as a time waster to wait for Carl. But if we're not waiting for that guy, we should just get on the road.
I'm not very good at listening when I'm hungry. Sorry.
Maybe we should find the Pizza Hut then.
Are you actually eating pizza? That's
She's got
amazing.
pizza.
So the trail rations come out.
All right, yeah. They're portable, reasonably nutritious. Why not?
So we're just making do with trail rations. We're not actually stopping anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Okay, and there's no stopping in the town for supplies. We're just right on the road. Yes.
So. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Ultimate gamer dinner right now. I've got pizza and beer.
All right. So,
Yeah,
thus fortified, could everyone please make a survival check for me?
Ooh.
I will not.
Well, then that's going to be a problem for your character.
I think it's already going to be a problem for my character because that's a 10.
23.
22.
Ooh.
18.
High
Which
Okay.
one
fives,
of
we
us is the
survived.
forest gnome? Come on here.
I feel like this happened to you in this morning's game, too.
Yeah, my
So,
dice hate me.
Um,
We're just
thanks
gonna
to
not use this
the
stat.
wonderfully honed senses of her companions, QWERTY is held back from stumbling off the trail as the jungle begins to thicken and sweeping plains give way to thicker underbrush and growth, and the smell of sort of wetter, more heady plant materials starts wafting by. QWERTY was about to push through some of the brush, just sort of haphazardly, not paying attention. Everyone else held her back because they observe or sensed or intuited, depending on who we're talking about, that behind it there is a den of sorts that contains 2 owl bears. You have managed to approach apparently without either of the creatures realizing that you're in the area, or if they do realize it, they aren't immediately taking offense to the fact.
Does one of the owlbears happen to be a baby?
Not that
Asking for no reason at all.
perception check.
Really? Oh, okay. I was kind of joking, but... Well... 8?
Okay, so you are unable to determine the age, disposition, or general demeanor of the owlbears from your position. You would have to move closer.
That's a bard for ya.
As I
Ain't
turn
no
to,
ranger.
I turn to Amani, who I see is clearly enamored with these owlbears, and I say, "Hi, how good are you at handling animals?"
Are you whispering this to her, or can we hear this?
Sorry, do you want me to state it? Amani, how are you at handling animals?
Guys,
Terrible.
forest gnome.
Yes, but
I'm
we
like
see what you're like in the
half
forest,
proficient.
so...
But I can talk to small animals. Well, I guess
These
owlbears
look
don't
small
count, do they?
animals to you.
One of them could be
You
small.
don't know.
I don't
Nobody's
know.
actually
I
seen
wasn't
them.
really able to tell that well whether one of them was
Oh,
smaller.
so they're just like
Because apparently my
indistinct
eyes
blobs.
don't work.
Well, not indistinct blobs, but like I said, everyone except for QWERTY got sort of sensed or picked up clues that the owlbears are in the area.
Owlbear.
Like tracks or
Poop.
poo or
The smell.
Sounds,
Sure.
the
The bones
layout of the
littering
area.
the mouth of the cave.
All warning on the map that
fast.
said "Here be owlbears."
So other than sorry, RaeRae, what was your character's name again?
Amani.
Other than
Think like
Amani,
Armani, but without the R.
anyone else can make a check to determine more
Switch.
about the owlbears.
Okay, so
This is
As-
fun. I like it.
as soon as QWERTY says that she can't, that there might be a small owlbear in there, she goes, "Oh, hold on, God," and she pops out of existence. And about that time, Carl comes stumbling through the jungle and says,
Ah, did you get my note, Carl?
You couldn't have waited 30 minutes.
No, that's why we didn't get a table either. That's why we just left.
Right.
One of the
Good things to
owlbears
do,
is
man.
one of the owlbears is now snoring very loudly, and the other one is starting to rustle a little bit, getting woken up by the snoring.
Caravan
I assumed it was our uncouthness.
we'll shush everybody and go and make little finger walking motions like let's go ahead and leave now. Let's
All right.
let's go.
I'm gonna leave stealthily, he says, hoping that the rest of the group will pick up on the skill that might be required here. And I want to just try to bypass them and keep going through the jungle towards the artifact of exuberant exsanguination.
Roll stealthily then.
Carl is gesturing to the scale mail that he is wearing and saying, "I'll try, but don't get your hopes up."
Elarahel points to the bagpipes that he's carrying on his back, which are actually on my
Just don't
character
play
sheet,
them.
and says, "Oh, don't worry. We'll if I can carry these, we'll be fine." And I rolled a 2.
Sorry,
Aravan's-
that's like the best bagpipe sound I can make.
Aravan rolled an 18. He practices as he preaches.
Total of 5.
Carl
by
got
the
a
way.
I got a 17. I think
Carl
I'm
also
stealthy.
got a 5.
Am I
Okay,
the only quiet one here?
There's the wind section and the and the percussion section of our
Oh
band
dear.
stumbling out of the range of the owlbears. Hopefully,
okay, so Amani and Alarahel get a pretty good distance away from Carl and Ervan, and Carl and Ervan suddenly both step on a loud twig at the same time, and the snoring owlbear suddenly stops snoring, and kind of looks up, and then looks your way, and you can see that it's blinking like the sleep out of its eyes.
I'm going to turn to Carl and say, have you noticed how similar mine and Erevan's names are? Just, if you were curious, just we're
did
not
I get that
related.
mixed up?
Don't get us confused, because we look similar, but
I
couldn't
thought
be
you
further
said
apart.
you said you
do
rolled
it,
a
it would be
17.
hilarious.
No, I rolled a 5.
Oh, okay.
Erevan rolled the 17. So yeah.
Okay, I mixed that up then. Sorry. Anyway, in that case, the owlbear looks straight at Alarahel and just blinks.
I freeze, but I could have just freezed walking, but I'm gonna dramatically freeze.
Okay,
As if the
roll
owlbear said, "Hands up!"
roll deception.
Deception.
Oh my gosh.
Deception. 18.
Okay, the owlbear just kind of continues to blink at you, and then slowly lays back down, rolls over, and starts snoring again. And the other sleeping owlbear just starts prodding it, trying to get it to stop snoring.
Keeping my pose, I'm gonna start slowly walking away to try to catch up with the group.
Okay. Which way
Aravan
you
will-
guys
This
go?
is the owlbear version of myself and my husband. Oops.
Aravan will say that's the best tree impression I've seen in a long time. Well done.
Thank you.
You had your hands
As
up
a
like
wood
that.
elf, that means a lot.
You're welcome. Also, you're not quiet. You're just not. You're terrible at this.
No, I never said I was quiet. I said I was sneaky.
As I told the king, you're terrible at this. And Aravan will keep walking.
So you guys are now a good distance away from the owlbear cave, but roll perception for me.
All of us?
Everybody.
Aravan has advantage on perception, but he has rolled a 24.
14.
Okay.
Find it.
10.
8.
Okay.
I'm really not very observant today.
Aravan and the Larahel, you both suddenly hear some giggling coming from somewhere in the forest around you. You can't quite tell where it's coming from.
He'll signal everybody to stop and tell everyone, we're being mocked.
That's fair. Let's keep going.
You're right. People who are going to diss us, we don't want to associate with them.
No.
We don't need that
We don't need that
negativity.
negativity.
We're on a mission.
Mm.
We're on a mission.
Mission
You're
from the
right.
king.
You're right. Mission from the king. We're important people.
On the off chance that they mean us harm, should we at least perhaps check to make sure they don't follow us and try to stab us in the back?
I guess.
Okay.
So Aravan will again hush everybody and say, "Wait here," and he will sneakily double back to see if he can figure out if someone's chasing them or following them or tracking them. You know, he'll kind of spiral out to see. You say we can't tell where it's coming from. He'll kind of spiral out to try to pick up a trail or see somebody watching them.
Okay, roll perception again,
Alright.
Aravan.
Alrighty. And not so good this time. The advantage roll, the best one was a 9. Not so good.
Okay, on your left shoulder, you feel something tap you.
I will turn to see what it is.
You don't see anything.
And so he'll say quietly, "Now that's good sneaking, whoever you are. That's impressive.
He's like, respect, man, respect.
That is game sees game. You know what I mean? Whoever you are, that's well done."
You hear a little giggle, but the way that the sound works, it sounds like it starts to the right of you, but then moves over to the left.
Okay, so he's heard, he's half elf, so he's heard the stories about like the fairy creatures and stuff, but he's not sure if that's what that is. Can he roll something to see if he's right or not? Like, he thinks this might be some fairy creatures that are.
Yeah, roll history.
Around. History. That's not a good choice for Aravan. We'll see what happens. I did pretty good at 18. I rolled an 18.
Okay, so you know that this is one of the fairy creatures, but you're not sure which one.
All right, so once I figured that out, I will go back to the team, not necessarily stealthily anymore, because I think I've sort of figured it out, and go, it's fairy creatures, and they're definitely mocking us. Definitely. For sure.
Maybe they just think we're adorable.
I thought they were supposed to be the ones who are adorable, but I mean, I guess, sure, we could be adorable too.
I mean, maybe they think we're adorable like we think puppies are adorable.
About that time, Amani, whose hair is...
Which?
Okay, never mind. In that case, you guys hear a sneeze again, and QWERTY pops back into the area where you guys are, and she goes, "Oh, man, I'm so glad I went to the ethereal plane that time. It was really easy to track you guys."
So as you're right, I'm the next one. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
You're next.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as QWERTY pops back into existence and tells you where she's been, everyone starts to see Amani's hair start to lift and twist and curl for a second, and then you hear like a little right as the sneeze and the pop happens, and the hair suddenly drops, and the laughing stops. You're not quite sure what happened, but it might be that the sneeze scared it off. We're not, but it may appear again here in the next 4 to 80 minutes, depending on dice rolls. We don't know how that's going to work out. But in the meantime, the dangers of the owlbear and perhaps the danger of the fairy creatures have apparently passed for now, and you continue down the road just a little ways. But before you can make it more than 10 steps, a bluish ring of energy appears off to the side of the trail. Anyone who is proficient in Arcana, if we have anybody in the party that is proficient in Arcana, can roll an Arcana check for me.
I will do that right now.
All right, we
believe
got
I
one
am
Arcana. Okay,
as
2 Arcana.
well.
All right,
21.
21.
23.
All right, with both excellent rolls, and so you both recognize this as a gate. This is a planar travel spell that has appeared just off the path, and out of the gate pops a wizard. You know it's a wizard because of the pointy hat. It is
Obviously.
It is an elven wizard who bears a striking resemblance to your traveling companion Aravan, who pokes his head out of the gate.
I think I know who this is. Do I know who this is?
You might
does
know
Lennon
who
the
this
player
is.
know who this is?
Lennon the player
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
who
yeah,
this
yeah.
is. Ah, nephew, there you are. Come. I have need of you on an important mission. I'll have need of you, and then I'll need to get rid of you from time to time. But for now, this is very important, and you should come with me. Rodrigo, and a small golden dragon wormling comes popping out of the portal onto your guys' side, and says, "Stay here. I need you to anchor the return spell. Aravan, now the time is short. You must come." And Aravan kind of goes, "Family." And he pops off into the gate, and which then
Have fun.
closes off behind him. You now have in place of Aravan, you now have a small golden dragon wormling, apparently named Rodrigo, who is now your temporary companion.
Okay.
Pretty looks up at Amani and goes, "Can I ride it?"
He's a very small wormling. He's not more than a
Maybe
Cordy
it
is a
can
very
ride on
small-
you.
Cordy is a very small gnome. Cordy's like less than 2 feet tall.
Rodrigo, like he kind of looks at you suspiciously, like, and then kind of like backs off, like gives you the stink eye a little bit, like, I don't get ridden.
Are
No.
golden dragons considered
Okay.
animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, the beasts,
I
right?
would-
They're beasts, right?
If it's very small, I can talk to it.
Right.
Okay. They're dragons, according to the stat block. It's a dragon. So what the heck? I'm the DM, right? My word
You're the
goes.
DM,
Fine.
right.
Yep.
Fine.
rules.
Yes. If you have a spell or an ability that lets you talk to animals, then you may cast or use that
Yeah.
ability.
That's one of the forest gnome traits. It's
Sure.
it's just
for it.
speak with small beasts, but
But the DM said it's
Oh.
allowed, so
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm good.
so I kind of make some gestures like I'd like to get on top of it if it'll let me. And if it doesn't, then I'm just gonna pat its head and just say, "Okay, come on, Rodrigo, let's go."
The pats are deemed acceptable.
So
Rodrigo's
Okay.
okay. Rodrigo's
In that
okay with
case, Cordy is just walking next to you, Rodrigo, with her hand on one side of it.
Aw.
He does not object to this. Lennon, were you also going to attempt to communicate?
nope, that's
Oh, okay. All right. So
She's called Dibs, obviously.
with your new companion close by, you continue down the road. You are approaching the R in Forest, and as you arrive there, there is a whole lot of nothing. It's Lennon. I want you to make. I want your character to make. Let's do it. Let's do a survival check again. Let's do a survival check.
survival 21.
21. So your finely tuned cartographic instincts tell you that you have indeed arrived at the R. So this is the spot that the magic people deemed the place where if there is an artifact nearby, it's here. But as just a cursory look around, no temple, no ruins, no person with a hut nearby with a mysterious cauldron or anything.
Okay, so in
More
that case, I
forest,
say to
more
the
jungle.
rest of my group, that's weird. I can tell that we are here on the R.
Nice.
Right in the
I want
in
I
the
want
R's
Alara
hold.
I
Right.
want Alara Hell to make a wisdom save, please.
This isn't the Pungeon. You have no jurisdiction here.
Yeah, you're not the DM right now. Give it.
I'm not. I know. I'm
So you're
casting.
morally
no,
opposed to the Pungeon.
Carl is casting a spell.
Oh,
Carl's casting a spell.
sorry.
Is he?
So you want me to make
Please.
a?
Please let the DM know what spell you're attempting to cast, Carl.
Toll the Dead.
Toll the Dead. All right.
So what was it you
Wisdom
needed me to
save.
make? Wisdom save. 12.
That just made it. So you faintly hear bells ringing in your head, just this side of being painful, and Carl just says, "Don't."
Okay. So that happens. A little
Lesson
party on
learned.
party violence.
Okay. Well, we are on the R. Be very careful to not overemphasize the letter R, as you say.
Arr.
We are the R. Are the R. There should be something here, but there's nothing. So, does that mean that actually we're not in the right place for the artifact? Do we need to go to the caves instead, or is the entrance just hidden? Is it some kind of magic? Do we
Why
have a
don't
way
we look
to
around
detect magic?
see if we can find out?
I mean, we could use the Mark 1 eyeball, I guess, to look around. But if anybody had some sort of spell that could detect magic, that might be helpful. No,
Does
none of you?
anyone?
I've got evil and good, not magic specifically.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. Yeah, in that case, I'd like to look around to see if there's any signs of, we're on a quest for an artifact. The king has given us this quest.
All right, Mark 1 eyeball it is. Does anybody join Alarahel in the search for a hidden entrance of some kind?
Is this investigation?
Yeah,
what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody option. You may either roll perception or investigation, whichever one you think is going to give you the better chance of a high score.
Gonna go 14 on perception.
Okay.
4 on investigation.
All right. That's
10
that's
on
a
perception.
Roll. 10 on perception. Okay.
I'm dice
Same for
jail.
me.
Dice
And a 10.
jail.
All right. So as you diligently kick dirt, turn over leaves, shake trees, and things like that, nothing pops out at you. Nothing pops out at you. Now I want everyone to roll let's do an insight check. I want everyone to roll an insight check.
4.
17.
17.
7.
7.
12?
12. All right, with the roll of a 17, Queerty thinks about this for a little bit and says, "This is a exsanguination artifact, which means you're trying to suck blood out of something. Maybe it's not a place that we're looking for. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's a thing that we need to find here in the forest."
Hey guys, maybe we're not looking for a place after all. Perhaps we should find something else.
Well, I thought we were looking for the artifact of... So I thought we were looking for a thing. I just thought the thing would be in a place.
Yes, but
I mean, everything has to be in a place.
it's an exsanguination artifact. Perhaps.
So what are you suggesting?
Perhaps we should be looking for a creature
Like an owl.
Like an
bell.
insanguinated one?
that might be losing blood. Perhaps.
Oh, that's a great idea. Go with that. I love that. That sounds great. We all have no idea what we're doing here. So I wish you guys would roll better. So I could open up a secret cave someplace. But nope.
Okay, so in can I do something like a survival check to look for blood trails or something
Sure.
of that nature?
That sounds like a great idea. Look for blood trails.
I feel like it would be lack of blood trails, but
Everybody or anybody?
Anybody. The idea came, let's look for a creature that's going to make things bleed. So let's look for blood trails.
I rolled a
check
natural
for-
20 for a total of 24.
24.
I got a 16.
I can't beat that, but
You can all just...
nope. Mm-mm.
All right. Ostron?
No, I do nothing.
All right.
I do nothing.
12.
12.
I didn't help, but I didn't hurt.
No. With rolls of 16 and 24, you do actually spot at this point a trail of not blood, but small bones. And then you see bits of fur. And it does appear to be like this is a path that something that has killed and hunted carries its prey or carries its kill along this way, and you see it heading further off to the southwest. You do pick this up.
I'm seeing a lot of bones and fur over here, but a surprising lack of blood, so maybe we should follow this trail. What do you think?
Sounds like an excellent idea. I agree. Let's follow that trail. But maybe Carl should go in front.
And why is that?
Well, because these are bones. I'm wearing leather. Those two look very squishy. You've got metal on you.
Very well. Fall in behind.
All right, so we've got a marching order, which is Carl. Who's following Carl?
I'm going to be bringing up the rear. It's not cowardice, it's survival.
Sure it is.
Okay. I guess Cordy will go next.
Okay.
She's not terribly afraid, even though she's tiny.
And because of your earlier acquaintanceship with Rodrigo, he will fall in beside you. So he's walking next to you. and then the bard.
Rodrigo and I are best friends right now.
I mean, you've been deemed acceptable. I wouldn't read too much into it.
In her mind, they're
Courtney's
best
head.
friends.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, okay? Rodrigo's very picky.
She
All right.
would die for Rodrigo right now. She
All
will
right.
protect him with her life.
All right. So we begin. The party begins marching deeper into the jungle, following this trail of blood, or not blood, but bones and fur, and you see twigs broken off and bushes trampled and so on. The creature is I mean, fairly decent size. You can't, it's at least as big as a typical humanoid, perhaps larger. But it seems to have dragged a number of prey creatures down this way. So you follow the trail for a couple of hours.
You follow the trail for a couple of hours, eventually coming up against a natural cave formation with a waterfall over the top, in amongst the lush forest jungle that's there. You can then see that the trail of bones, because apparently this thing just leaves bones like breadcrumbs for you guys to follow, gets as far as the water's edge and then disappears. As you guys have been walking through the forest, you turn around and go to mention it to Alarahel, who's gone. He's not there.
And a blue circle appears again, and Aravan steps out and kind of waves behind him, and then he kind of points to Rodrigo and says, "Terrius needs you. He's ready to he's ready to take you back." And so Rodrigo,
Miss you.
Rodrigo gives you a dragon thumbs up, clearly, and then pops through the portal, and then closes behind him. And Aravan says, "What did I miss? Oh, cave. I thought we were going to the jungle first. Wait, this is a cave in a jungle. Now I'm confused."
It's kind of weird, yeah.
All right.
Except we're not really at the cave yet. We just came to this water's edge and found that the trail we were following of breadcrumb bone crumb trail
Bone crumb.
is
I thought of that.
it
when I
just
was-
stopped. It just stopped right here. So maybe what we're looking for is in the water.
Before you guys
That's
continue, can I
comforting.
know everybody's passive perception scores, please? We'll start with
Passive.
Aravan.
19.
19. Carl,
12.
Amani,
14.
and QWERTY.
I really want to know how you guys have such high passive perceptions, because mine's 11.
Okay.
Magic device. We're allowed one uncommon magic device. Sentinel shield.
I have high wisdom.
Okay.
Nope, not really. But the Sentinel shield plus advantage on plus perception, and then expertise on perception.
Well, that was my answer. I have high wisdom.
Oh, well, yeah, she gets out of wisdom, yeah. So that's another good way.
Aravan, you hear in the forest behind you the sound of a few bodies moving around, like you're being followed.
Hey, everybody! I think we're being followed, or you were anyway, because I just got here.
That's why none of the others spotted it. They weren't looking out for it.
Are we sure it isn't the coward who ran to the back and then disappeared?
Are we sure that it isn't the
That guy's
whatever
no good
fairy
anyway.
things again?
It doesn't sound like fairies because they're not laughing. I told you Alarahel is dead weight. I told you that before we left.
I didn't argue with you.
DM Lennon writes down.
Oh.
All right, yeah. So he warned Aravan warns everybody
Which-
that we've been followed.
Ostron.
So Carl gets impatient and just storms off into the jungle to figure out where or what's going on.
Aravan silently protests, waving his arms, what the
At this point, Alarahel comes back in, semi shaking his foot. Is it? Sorry, I got a twig in my boot as we were walking through. It's really uncomfortable. Just sorry.
One of these days, you're going to have to demonstrate to us why we even. Oh, God. Shh.
So stumbling or not stumbling, as your discussion about where people are going and what's happened winds down, one of the owl bears from earlier jumps out of the underbrush.
Is
However,
it a baby? No,
Um,
just kidding.
can
I'm just
Can
kidding.
everyone make a nature check, please?
Switch.
Are we still making the nature check? You know what?
That's
yeah.
up to
let's-
you.
Yeah.
You're DM now. You tell us.
Oh, okay, so hold on. So Cordy goes, "Hey, Cole, it's one of those owlbear thingies. I think I'm allergic to." And she sneezes, and she's suddenly a sheep, and and she just goes, "Bah!" and then runs and hides behind Carl, as he stumbles back out of the jungle.
Well, at least they work better as a meat shield at this size.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled
Check.
4.
Okay.
Also
10.
4.
This owlbear seems like it's not a threat to you at all.
Oh, thank God.
Good.
With
I'm
my
glad
roll
we
of
took this
four.
whole sidetrack.
It
With my
It's-
roll, with Erevan's roll of 4, he's very glad that his keen instincts have said this owlbear is totally kosher. Oh, okay, good. He's very relaxed now.
it's a very it seems to be a very happy owlbear as it comes up to you and rears up on its hind legs.
I would like
and,
to pet the owlbear.
Somebody
Okay.
carrying sausage in their pocket or something.
With the sausage in my pocket, I wish to try and pet the owlbear.
And at this point, Cordy goes "Bah!" and runs away, and the owlbear turns and runs after her.
Oh
Oh no!
Should we do something about this?
Alara Hell's gonna knock an arrow and try and catch the owlbear. Try and
It's
catch the
a
owlbear.
friendly
Hopefully not.
owl bear.
But it's chasing and about to eat one of our companions.
I don't know what's
don't-
going to eat them. Maybe it wants to play catch or something.
I have
Yes,
opened
with
a whole
its
sausage,
beak.
and it chased a sheep. Either the sausage is inconsequential and it really wants the mutton, or I completely misread the situation, which would never happen. So knock loose.
Okay, roll an attack.
Make a ranged attack. Okay.
It is starting to rain as well.
Sure.
It's a light drizzle right now.
23.
Okay, so you are a little too good with your shot, and you manage to hit the owlbear right in the tail as it's running away. It
Center mass.
screams, turns around and looks at you, and then turns around and looks at Cordy, who has stopped. And Cordy goes, "Bah!" and the owlbear just goes, "Roar!" and kind of bends around and snaps the arrow out of its tail, and Cordy comes up and knocks it with a hoof, and the owlbear goes, "Ah!" and then the owlbear turns and starts running away, and Cordy starts chasing it, and you guys suddenly realize they're playing tag.
Oh my goodness. See?
I meant to do that.
See?
Should we follow this trail of bone crumbs?
Yeah.
No, there is
Yeah,
no
maybe
trail
we
of
should.
bone crumbs. It
We'll come
stopped
get
at
our
the
sheep
huge body
later.
of water.
Yeah, it's not there, and Erevan's like, no, I have to see how this turns out.
Okay.
I have to see who wins this game of tag. And so he sits on a log in the light drizzle and just watches.
Okay, the light drizzle is now turning into a moderate rain, and you can kind of make out the figures, but you're not sure which one's which, because they're far enough into the jungle and the rain's coming down enough that you can't see which one is doing the tagging right now.
Erevan will try to move to keep an eye on the proceedings. This fascinates him to no end.
Well,
He's never seen anything like it.
while he's doing that, even though I am rubbish at it, Carl would like to try to investigate the lake.
Okay.
Should I do investigation or perception?
Investigation,
map?
because that's what you said. There's not much on this map.
I'm gonna put a lake. Hold on. Maybe.
I got an 18.
There's a
Okay.
lake.
You notice that there's kind of a sandbar, kind of, that's like raising up right in the middle of the lake that you almost didn't see because the water is so murky, and it leads straight toward the back of the waterfall. Or straight toward the waterfall.
Are there
There's
any
no
other
treasure back there. I'm writing the developers.
Are there any other bones or fur remnants on that?
You don't see any fur, but you do see 2 or 3 larger bones, but not like the big scattering of all the smaller bones that you followed here.
Well, maybe it's already dead. Hey, I found a sandbar that seems to lead back into the waterfall. Does anyone care, or are we still watching wild and wacky animal time over on the shore there?
Check for treasure. There's always treasure behind waterfalls.
So that's
say
just
Rusty
me
should go
then.
first.
Right. I will make my way toward the sandbar and then the waterfall, assuming nothing interrupts me on the way.
Okay.
Like the other owl bear.
And like Sam from The Lord of the Rings, I'm going to wade into the water behind him.
Switch.
That's
Qwerty,
me?
yeah,
no.
Qwerty sneezes again, and she's QWERTY again, and the owlbear stops and looks at her and just goes, "Arr,"
Poor
And-
confused thing.
"Ooh,"
And
and
yeah.
QWERTY pats it and says, "That was fun. Let's do that again sometime." and then just turns and comes right back to you guys, and the owlbear is just left there going.
the owlbear is left there going like that, and then walks back to where Aravan is watching him. Walks past Aravan to where it pulled out the arrow out of its butt. It picks the arrow up in its beak, walks it back to Alarendel and drops it at his feet. Turns around, sort of scuffs dirt on Arendel's boots, and heads back into the forest.
I've just
Cheeky
got the rocks
owl bear.
out of
I like
those.
it.
I take off my boot and I'm just emptying all the sand out.
Ah.
So Aravan, with the show over, with the show being over, he kind of turns back and goes, "That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen." And then again,
It's
a
so
blue.
fun. Have you ever played tag with an owlbear? I recommend doing it sometime in your life.
Aravan says, "Maybe one day I will." But then, just as he says "I will," another blue circle appears behind him, and the same pointy-hatted figure goes out. "Ah, yes, you're still here, and I see you have your friends. I am in need of a group of adventurers. Just temporarily, it will only take a moment. You, and you. You four. You four, come with me. Aravan, you stay here. I need...
I don't like you anymore.
Rodrigo is indisposed. And so I will need someone to anchor the spell here again. I know where to find you. I know you. I can open the gate back on your location. But I need the four of you. Just a moment. Just a moment.
We're sort of already on a mission right now.
This won't take any time at all. It's raining. The place where I'm taking you is not. You'll be dry. It will involve practically no effort on your part whatsoever. I just need a few moments, and I have to have 4. This won't work with anything less than 4.
Alorahel looks at the figure through the big blue, shimmering portal. Doctor? Strange.
I don't know this person. Is it a person? No, this seems.
It's okay.
I understood that reference.
Can you return us here when we're done?
That's why I'm making Aravan stay here. I can focus the spell on his location, so he has to stay here in the rain while the rest of you come get dry with me.
We're looking for this artifact. Could you return us to the place where the artifact is, maybe, so that we don't spend 3 hours in the forest?
If Aravan finds the artifact while you're gone, then yes. If he stands here in the rain and does nothing, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I'm
and
dead
quite
weight
frankly,
anyway, and I walk through the portal.
He's fairly lazy, so I wouldn't expect him to do work while you guys are away.
I can make Aravan an illusory umbrella. Would that make him feel better?
It may. If it actually wants rain, you can
Well,
go right ahead.
So,
I'm up for any adventure, and I start skipping toward the the portal.
I guess that vermicelli guy can get over it.
So my intention was that I'm like 45 to 60 feet away in the middle of the lake at this point. So can I even hear any of this?
Waving you over. Come back here. I need you. Come this way. This will only take a moment, and you're
He comes
soaking.
back sopping wet.
Absolutely
Yeah.
soaking.
Carl is not in the best of moods.
I can fix this. Come. Just step through here. Won't take a moment.
I'll go through the portal.
All right. So as you all step through the portal, it closes behind you. You're in it looks like a room in a cathedral or a castle. Stone floor, stone walls, torches. You know the bit. But in the middle of the room, there's a large square depression in the middle, and inside it looks like, just for all the world, like the interior floor plan of a dungeon, or castle, or temple of some kind. And he goes, "It's a multiplayer co-op situation. I couldn't do it by myself. I need help." He hands each of you a small stone pedestal with a single rod out of the middle of it and a switch or button or pressure plate in the upper left-hand corner. And he hands each of you one of these, and I want each of you to roll initiative.
Oh no. This is getting weird.
Like it was going to be anything but.
Like it was going to be anything but.
12.
All right.
I also got a
17.
12.
17.
Unfortunately, 17.
17. All right.
I also got a 12.
Another
Oh no, I'm sorry. I got a 13. I got a 13. Never mind.
13. Okay. All right.
I thought my
17.
initiative was 1. It's 2.
Okay. All right. So we got Amani, and then we got Queerty, and then we've got Lennon. What is your dexterity?
Oh, my dex is... Sorry,
Yeah,
2
dex
seconds.
bonus.
+3.
+3. And for Carl? 0. All right. So Carl will be last in the initiative order, and Al. Can I call you Al? You can call me Betty.
Me?
I can call you Al. If I can call you Al.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a song. Okay.
I know.
I guess I am old after all. All right. All right. So as you walk over to this map, you see in the map 4 small figures. There is a wizard, a rogue, a fighter, and wizard, rogue, fighter. What's the other thing that you always have? Cleric.
Switch.
Oh wait, no, you're in initiative. We're in
We're in
initiative.
initiative.
Yes.
Yep. So the
We're
switch.
gonna
Okay,
have to
so
at the
we're
end of
wait-
this. Yep.
We
Yep.
switch after.
Yeah. So we'll switch after combat. So
It's
Carl,
usually either ranger or cleric, depending
Yeah,
on how you
so-
want it to go.
Carl, lucky you got the cleric. Lennon, lucky you got the rogue. Queerty got the wizard, and you got the fighter, Amani. Yeah, you're playing against type here. But you see these 4, and as you move the stick and press the button, the stick moves the little people that are on this map, and the button, they swing a weapon or shoot a magic spell as you deem appropriate, as whatever your imagine thinks that they do. And off to the side, there are 4 small clay figurines that are to scale with the map that you see in front of you. One of them is a zombie. One of them is a spider. One of them is a ogre, and one of them is a small green dragon.
I do not see the map. Has it changed for everybody else?
No, this is just theater of mind.
Oh, sorry.
This is completely theater of mind. Yeah,
Right.
I can pick a corner and just doodle for you if you want.
For the purposes of this, it won't really matter. But so then Terius will lean over and say, "I've only played with it a little bit, but I've lost every time. Like I said, multiplayer co-op. But I think that what you're supposed to do is pick one of these bad guys and set it on these people and let them wail on it or something. I've only played with it a little bit, and I lost every time."
So what were the
Go ahead.
monsters?
We got an ogre,
I feel like I need to
zombie,
write this down.
spider, dragon, and the person in the top of the initiative
what?
order is Amani.
Ogre,
Oh,
what?
boy.
Spider dragon?
Ogre,
Zombie.
spider,
Zombie.
dragon, and
Okay.
Amani is at the top of the initiative order, so it would be up to her to choose the enemy.
I'm gonna pick the zombie first.
All right. So you place the
And
zombie.
you said I'm a fighter. I'm playing the
Yep.
fighter?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So you place the zombie on the battlefield, and the zombie, starts dragging itself across the floor of the map to the adventuring party, and gets within range of your fighter. What do you do?
Well, as Amani is not actually a fighter and doesn't really know what it entails beyond hit thing with weapon, that's what she's gonna do.
You push the button at the pressure plate at the top of the small stone device that you've been given. You may now roll a d20.
I can do that.
You can roll a d20.
Whether it'll like me or not, I don't know.
Who knows?
15.
With a 15, you see the little warrior creature haul its axe back and smack the zombie right in the head. And the zombie doesn't quite fall over, but reels back several spaces. And the next initiative order is Queerty. Queerty, you have noticed your friend with wiggle the stick. The little miniature fighter moved over to the zombie. Give it a good whack by hitting the little pressure plate at the top of the device. What do you do?
Pretty wiggles her stick and as well, and instead of her character moving, a pinpoint of light appears over the map area, and she moves it to where the pinpoint is over the zombie, and then presses the button.
Zombie's not on the table. The zombie's off the table. It's off to the side.
Oh, I thought you said.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So you said there's do you move your figure towards the zombie?
No,
And-
I was making a ranged attack. I was describing a ranged attack.
Okay. So you're gonna attack it. Okay, yes. Roll a d20.
Okay. That is a 14.
For the 14, the zombie falls over, apparently deceased, and sort of disappears from the table and reforms on the side of the game table. But it is
What's the uncle's name?
Terrius.
Okay, so the zombie's out of the game now.
The color has faded off the zombie, right? It used to be sort of like a painted mini with some greens and browns on it and stuff like that, but now it's all sort of like dark gray.
Hey, Darius, what's the point of this?
I'm not entirely sure, but you've just done better than I've done. As I said, it's a multiplayer co-op. I was able to control one of the figures, but I was always defeated because I wasn't able to get in enough attacks before it murdered my tiny figure.
Okay.
So one down, 3 to go, looks like. And then the next initiative order is going to be Al.
I'm going to position my figure as the rogue. I'm going to try, just in case it makes a difference, to flank the spider.
There's no bad guys on the field right now. You have the
You have to
spider.
pick one.
I'm going to
Because she just killed the zombie.
put a spider on the field.
Put the spider on the field. All right,
Yeah.
You put the spider on the field. The spider comes to life on the field. It gnashes its teeth and wiggles its legs and approaches
with a ton
you.
of concentration.
Ooh,
Roll it.
sounds disgusting.
Just a straight d20.
Straight d20.
14.
14. The rogue backs up about a couple of squares, draws back its bow, and knocks off 3 of its legs. Spider is hurt, but it's still moving. Well, she'll take us to Carl. Carl, you're on there with the cleric.
I will move my figure up to the spider and attack. 10.
With the 10, your cleric figure takes a swipe at it and hits the little floor next to it. It misses. It does not get in an attack. Now, your cleric is standing there, vulnerable to the terrible depredations of the zombie, which then rolls an
Spider.
18. The roll of an 18. You notice your cleric has been hurt. The cleric has stumbled back, and there's a teeny little bit of blood that goes squirt and gets on lays on the map board there. All right, so
looks at it and goes, "Sanguination."
Terry's just like, that's an awfully large word from someone like you. I've known people.
It's an
like
awfully
you.
special artifact. carry on.
Right. So with that, Ostron, you get the feeling that you probably shouldn't take another hit like that from the spider for your little guy. You have a feeling that would be bad. You feel like that is the case. So it comes back around to Amani. Amani, there's a spider.
Spider's
menacing
still
your
on the
friend
field.
Carl. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna whack it again.
You're gonna whack it. Roll.
13.
13. You chop the other legs off the spider. It rolls over and again it evaporates off the board. Appears on the side, now colorless, and is out of play. So 2 down, 2 to go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Next up.
So Cordy chooses the dragon this time.
Chooses the
Really?
dragon. Quirty puts the dragon on the field. And Terrius goes, but it's too late. The dragon comes to life on the field. A tiny little roar. The wings flap. The talons thrash.
And Amani, not Amani, Cordy hugs it to death.
Quirty, the dragon is now in play, and it is your little character's turn. What do you do?
Okay, well, Cordy's going to say, okay, I think this is taking a little too long. And she is, instead of telling her character to attack it, she's going to attack it herself.
Right.
And
Roll
I'm
attack.
taking advantage. With a 6 to attack.
As you go, enough of this business. You what kind of attack are we rolling here?
Hold on. It's Ray of Frost.
Ray of Frost. You're gonna Ray of Frost this thing. All right.
Yeah.
Again, Terrius goes.
Oh, I'm
"No!"
sorry. I don't have Ray of Frost. Firebolt. I apologize.
That's fine. It's a ranged spell attack. You try to shoot the game board and vaporize the dragon that way. As Terrius also says, no! The firebolt bounces back. I want you to roll firebolt damage that you would normally take, and then take half of that.
That's a
Yikes.
D10. Okay, 3.
All right, so take 3 points of damage as the firebolt bounces off the table and hits you, singeing your garments and whatnot. And Terrius goes, "That was the first thing I tried. Trust me, I had no patience with this either. That was the first thing I tried." But with that, the dragon has now the dragon gets a turn because you've used it to attack the game board. But fortunately with the roll of a 5, you're able to grab the little controller thing and dodge out of the way. The dragon's tail misses your little character, and you scramble out of the way, which takes us to back to Al.
Yep, I just want to position my rogue behind the dragon as best I can and just give it a good stabby.
All right, so you attack. Go ahead and give it a roll.
17.
17. The dragon rears back. Roar! It's very upset at the tiny little rogue. So very good. Next one up is Carl. Carl, you notice the success of your friend the rogue.
Can I do an insight check to figure out if there is some way to activate something other than a basic attack?
Sure, you can roll insight check.
Oh, doing the old up, down, left, right,
Something-
button,
17.
Cheat code for this game.
Yeah.
17.
Any mods I
17.
can download?
17. So you're like, there's gotta be I don't know. You got to figure something's going on here, and you don't. The controls are very simple. You've only seen them used a few times, but what you do notice is that they're right on the map, around the edge, are a bunch of tiny treasure chests. You see a bunch of tiny treasure chests around the map that weren't immediately apparent the first time you looked because you were like, "What the hell's going on?" But now that you kind of see them kind of glowing a little bit, little treasure chests kind of glowing a little bit.
I'm gonna go over to one of those.
You're gonna move your character over to one of those. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So pull the you do that. You hit the action button.
Yes.
All right. One of the chests pops open, and out of it comes a glowing sword that your little cleric character can pick up.
Okay. Good.
All right, so that's your turn. Your character now has a little glowing sword instead of its regular mace or whatever it had before. All right, next one up is...
I turn to Amani and go, "Hey, weren't you the one looking for treasure?"
I mean, treasure's good.
All All right, with a successful insight roll, your little guy now has a glowy sword. Amani, green dragon on the board. What do you do?
I'm just going to be really basic.
Go for
Stabby.
it. Stabby.
Stabby.
Roll it.
Stabby smack.
Roll it.
I've done pretty well so far.
Nothing succeeds like success.
18.
18. The dragon roar once again. That's been 2 hits, but usually after 2 hits these things go down. But the dragon.
This is a
appears to be-
dragon. Come on.
This dragon appears a little tougher. It's a little tougher on this one. So then we go to Al. Al's turn.
I thought it was my turn.
No, I
Yeah.
was gonna say,
Oh, Query, I'm sorry. I skipped Query. I apologize.
So is there any way that I can change the spell that this wizard is casting?
No, it's just there's attack. Apparently now there's also open chest. But
Okay.
there's no secondary attacks or double clicking or anything as far as you can tell.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to do another ranged fireball or something at it.
Whatever
And I
tiny
rolled
wizard
this.
you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did the first time.
Yeah.
That was a 7. So
7, the little tiny wizard attack goes wide, and the dragon roars and comes attacking the tiny wizard.
no, not the tiny wizard.
Tiny wizard escapes death again because the dragon rolls a 7. Tiny wizard is lucky. So, it lives to fight another round. All right, back up. We're going back to Al. Now it's Al's turn.
stabby.
Stabby. All right, go for it.
That is 13.
All right. Oh, 13?
Oh, okay.
That's unfortunately a miss. This is a little tougher than some of the other
Very
ones.
number.
Yeah. So you're gonna also you may also be punished for this. The dragon roars on its hind legs and swipes at its tail, and the DM rolls a 4. So the rogue also manages to escape. I gotta roll some better rolls here.
No, you don't.
All right. No, that's fine. Okay.
No,
so
you're fine. You're fine.
You've escaped. Going to Carl. Carl's turn. Go, Carl. You've got
All
your
right,
magic
Carl
blue
is
sword.
going to, try to use the special shiny sword to more effect.
Mhm.
And I rolled a natural 20.
Wow.
I think I
The
had
sword
some more
works.
plans. I figured that well done, Ostron. That's an excellent dramatic end. Your little character takes the shiny sword, plunges it directly into the heart of the dragon, which then fades and evaporates. It reappears on the side of the map, blank, devoid of color. Which means the only thing left is the ogre, and it is now Amani's turn.
So I'm pretty impressed by that. Wow. That was really effective. Are
Super
there
effective.
That
any
sound like
more of those fancy chests left?
You roll perception for me.
Okay. Oh God, wait, this is gonna suck.
I'm imagining all these creatures on the game board. They're like those really sort of 1950s kaiju claymation style animations.
Yeah.
They're like,
That's what I'm thinking of too.
Absolutely works.
Okay. 17?
17. There, you see, you're at a weird angle. You got kind of elbowed off to the side. It's hard to see the game board from your angle. You wish people had installed a couch or something, or everyone had an equal view of the board, but it's not to be. But you do see that there are 3 more chests from where you can sit. There's a left, right, middle. Do you want to move one of those?
I'll go for the one on the right.
Go the one on the right. Your character moves over. You hit the button to open the chest, and out pops a potion bottle.
Okay.
All right, so that's your turn.
Okay,
You
potion
now
bottle.
have the potion bottle. Qwerty.
Okay, Gertie is going to wiggle the stick on her little tablet and get her little wizard person out of there so it's not right next to the dragon.
Sure.
And then she's going to try that ranged attack again.
Okay, hit that range attack again.
That is a natural 20.
Hey!
wasn't
Wait,
the dragon dead?
range it. Yeah, the
Dragon's dead.
dragon's
Oh,
dead.
yes,
and nothing else
there's
is on
nothing
the
on the
board
board
yet.
right now.
you
You
didn't
have
play.
to call
Yeah,
the
you didn't,
ogre.
you didn't place the ogre.
Oh,
You
I'm
didn't place the-
sorry.
that's right, I thought you
Okay,
placed
I'll place
ogre.
the ogre first and then retcon
Okay.
that.
You place the ogre.
How did I
comes
miss
by
that?
far. You back off. I assumed that Amani had placed the ogre, and I did not do a good job of listening. But you do that, and you attack, and you roll a natural 20. The ogre it is damaged, but it has not fallen over. But you do a good solid hit. All right, and next up is Al.
Stabby,
Al, what do you,
stabby. 17.
17. That'll hit. Again, ogre goes rawr, almost doesn't it roars, and then we've got Carl. Carl, what do you do with your magic glowy sword that you have?
Same thing as last time. And that's a 17.
17. With the 17, that would be the fourth hit that this thing is going to take, and so then it goes straight to the heart. It evaporates, sinks and it goes to the ground. As that happens, the other 3 chests pop open. So and out comes 3 tiny, what look like wands. And as that happens, Terius goes, ha 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 ha, well done. And he snatches them up. And they're all very small. But he's able to reach into the game board and pull them out. And he turns around and hands them, he holds one up and says, I believe that we should divide the treasure. And he holds one out. He holds it up to you guys. And who wants to take this tiny wand?
I'll take it.
All right. He hands it to you and says, thank you very much for your assistance. I cannot tell you how helpful this was. Now I'll just beam you back here to Erevan, and he
Wait. 2 seconds. And Alara Hell's moving his joystick around as these runes have like a list of names and times next to it, and he's like, A, L. Oh, there's only 3 characters.
And as that happened, the characters also on the board also kind of turn gray and deactivate. And you can only get AL on there before
and that's it.
deactivates. Yeah, that's
Can Uncle Guy tell me what this potion is that I got out of the chest?
You didn't get it. Your little character did.
Oh, my little character did. Okay,
Yeah,
never
so
mind.
no fiery sword for the.
And Uncle Guy, tell me what this wand is.
Oh, it's small.
Wand of blast.
Just a moment.
I couldn't tell. It's really not all that small to me because
No,
regular
it's small.
wand.
No. It's this wand is scaled like for the figurines. The figurines were like maybe 3 or 4 inches. They're like claymation minis.
okay.
So the wand
32
is the
feet
size
tall.
of like half a tooth.
Yeah, it's a toothpick basically. The wand is basically a toothpick. Let's
Okay.
So you have a toothpick, and he says,
So it's like a dart for me.
Just
He holds it and concentrates on it for a moment and says, I believe you'll find this is a wand of magic missile.
Ooh.
Enjoy it.
Don't use it as a toothpick.
That would undoubtedly cause serious injury to you. Yes. So he turns around and you see he furtively sort of like reaches into
point of order.
Yes.
At what point are we supposed to switch to Lennon? Because
You're not out of initiative order yet. Because the DM hasn't told you you're out of
Okay.
combat yet. He's going to kick you all out of this and then throw you back, and then you're out of initiative order. So he'll turn around, mess with something. You can't see what he's doing because he's deliberately obscured what he's doing behind his wizard robes. And then another portal opens up, another gate opens up, and you see Erevan sitting on a log, looking very disappointed,
And
waiting
wet.
for you guys, and wet, and waiting for you guys on the other side. And goes, "Thank you very much for your assistance. Probably the last time I'll call on you. Thank you very much."
Wait, how
Yeah, he says that.
thing?
What's
You
that?
cut out.
I said, wait, how many charges are on this thing?
Guess you're just gonna have to find out.
I am now no longer the DM. Poof.
So, moving back through the portal, 3 of you emerge through it, but Alarahel doesn't come back. The portal closes before he has a chance to get through. So the 3 of you are there with Erevan, who is soaking wet, having sat there in the rain for goodness knows how long. Carl, I believe you're heading across the sandbank last. Is that where you wish to continue your investigation?
yes, I will. Carl is now in a bad mood.
He's so cranky.
So
Too
he's
much
going
dry
to
off. Come on.
he is going to aggressively stomp back toward the waterfall.
Sure. You start splishing.
Pretty like pretending that her wand is a lightsaber, and she's like, shh, shh, shh.
With the toothpick.
With the
With the toothpick, yes.
Hey, it's
So,
bigger than
Carl-
it was for me. I'm 2 feet tall. Okay.
So Carl walks across the sandbank towards the middle of the waterfall. Make a perception check for me.
Perception?
Yes.
Dirty 20.
Okay, so as you start walking out across the sandbank, something catches your eye just the other side of the waterfall. There's something that has like a very subtle glow, as if there's something like on a stone that's glowing up, and you're just seeing it through the waterfall. It's sort of got a little bit of a red, orangey sort of aura to it.
Magic short stuff.
What's up?
Something's glowing.
Oh, I like glowy things. And
That's why I told you.
Curdy waddles through the area where Carl went, and being
Swims.
very careful to not fall over. Yeah, she more like she
How much
wades.
she weighs.
She
That's not a rude
wades.
question.
Oh, okay.
She wades through.
Mhm.
But it's significantly more water for her to step through than it was for Carl. But anyway, she gets up there and she tries to peer through the water.
Sure. So again, you can see that there's a glowing rune. You would need to go to the other side of the waterfall to be able to investigate it.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to go around. And Cordy just jumps into the water and starts swimming off to the side.
Sploosh.
Yeah.
Okay. She reemerges.
Carl will follow.
And both of you sort of walk around behind the waterfall. You can see
I
that
thought you
there
were
is.
wearing mail.
It's very rusty.
Yeah, but I thought the water wasn't deep enough for me to need to swim.
Sure.
I told you
because
that
of the
there was just
sandbar.
this. The sandbar was only in the middle, though. It was just wide enough for you to walk on.
Oh yeah, I thought you said it provided a path up to the waterfall, but
Well, it did, but
way, though.
only to the very front
Either
of
way,
it.
though, you guys make it to the edge, up and behind the
Okay.
waterfall, where you see a small stone dais, within which is a glowing rune that's emitting light. The whole place is soaking wet, slightly slippery underfoot as well. As you look at the rune, it appears to be the rune, that's the elvish rune for fire.
I think that's a sanguination.
so the first part of what you said cut out.
I don't think that that's insanguination.
Do you
That
think
says
it's
fire.
anything helpful?
Well, it says fire on it. It's probably helpful.
Fire voice.
Cordy is going to attempt to make a perception check to see if this is something that's safe to touch.
Sure. Okay.
That is a 14.
Yeah, so it appears as if the rune is etched into the table. It doesn't look like a glyph of warding or anything like that, which you've got a vague passing familiarity with.
Okay. In that case, Cordy's gonna come up to it and kind of put her hands on either side of it and look around it to see if she can figure out if it's something that is like a trigger for something,
Sure.
or if it's really something that she can pick up and take with her.
Oh no,
Carl
this
is going.
stone is like it's carved out of the
Okay.
floor, if you see what I mean. So you couldn't pick it up. It's a solid.
Oh, okay.
Carl is going to back up toward the waterfall as far as solid ground will allow.
For investigation, that's a 15.
Okay. Looking at it, it appears as if you were to somehow introduce fire to this rune, something would happen.
All
I
right,
don't like
think
how
I
that
know.
sounds.
Okay, I think I know how to make this activate. Stand back, my friend.
I am.
And well, stand back farther. Jeez. And she shoots a firebolt at it.
What level is fire?
And
It's a
it's
cantrip.
a cantrip.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's a cantrip, but we had those rules, our house rules, remember?
Yep. I know.
And I've already taken advantage. So
All right.
that's a 17 to hit it.
The as you do successfully fire a firebolt into it, but Carl, as you're looking, you can't help but notice that when she casts, the air around her kind of distorts and twists, and purple sparks sort of fly off in random directions.
Darn, I forgot.
And
Am I rolling or are you?
I've rolled.
Okay.
You.
But I have the pretty 200.
I know, but it's more fun this way because I know what happens and you don't. So,
Fine.
as you feel absolutely fine. The firebolt connects with the fire rune. The whole mountain begins rumbling, and behind the waterfall, 2 doors slide open, leading a staircase downwards. Descends just off into the darkness.
Wait, are they still like
You
on
guys
the
are
shore of the
over on the
lake?
shoreline. You would have just heard the mountain rumble like
The
an
rumbling.
earthquake. Yeah.
Aravan, do you think maybe we should, I don't know, go see what trouble they're making?
They did something, because I don't think that... Yeah, we should probably go find out what they did.
I mean, they
As-
could be dead in there for all we know.
As QWERTY finishes up casting the spell, turns around, to give a sort of look to Carl as, hey, like, I did it. Carl, you could have swore that she was a forest gnome and not a deep gnome, but her skin is awfully blue.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Nice job, I guess. Hey, are you two coming?
Thought so.
Aravan will come in and go. He'll poke his head behind the waterfall and go, "Hey, things are going." And he'll stop and look at QWERTY for a second and go, "It did that? Was that on purpose? That was
What?
on purpose.
What
That
was?
thing with your skin?
What thing with my skin? Oh, this thing? Oh, it just happens to me sometimes. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to pry in your medical history or anything. That's between you and your doctor. That's fine. That's
You
fine.
really think this one sees a doctor?
For a skin condition like that, I hope so. I know people. Just let me know after this. I know people if you need somebody.
Pretty says, "Hey, I think one of you guys should light a torch or something. I mean, I can see in the dark for a little bit, but it's really not a good idea to go down in dark places without some kind of light source."
How about I go first? I'll just be quiet, and he'll look over at Al. I'll just be quiet and go down there and see what's going
Al's-
on. I can
Al's not
say-
Hal's not there.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's
He
right.
didn't
Al's not
return.
there. Yeah. I'll say, thank God Al's not here, because he tried to sneak down there first, and he's just not good at this. So Aravan's going to start going down the stairs stealthily, not lighting any torches or anything. Going to rely on his dark vision.
Okay.
Go down there.
You begin making your way down the staircase. It is
What do you-
dusty.
I should do.
What's
It
that?
is
What's your stealth? Huh? And you're blue.
Plus
So
2.
your people's eyes are going to be drawn to you. You're like, that's weird. And so that you're not.
Not if we're going underground.
Oh, I guess it is. You would blend in underground. I guess that's true. People would expect that.
So the stairwell that you descend to
racist.
is dark. It is dusty. It hasn't seen use for a long time. You said you were going stealthily. If everybody can make a stealth check as a group, and we'll see. It'll be a group
Well,
success
hang on.
thing.
I was about to
Carl-
do something like really mean, but I don't think
Sure.
I'm going to.
Carl is letting Tony, I forgot your character's name.
Oh,
11
Aravan.
for me, for stealth.
Sorry, say that again, Tony. Aravan?
Aravan, yeah.
Carl is letting Aravan get a good lead before he tries to follow because my stealth is basically non-existent.
I rolled a 21.
Okay.
Well, I really rolled a 19, but
Yeah, Aravan only rolled an 11 too. So
Okay.
I actually got a 16 then.
Ooh.
So as Erevan begins descending down, followed by Amani, Carl, who initially stood back to let them go first, just hears a buzz and shh, and quietly steps down through. Nobody even knows if QWERTY's with them at the moment. She is that silent. As you descend down 40, 60, 100 feet, eventually it opens out into a room that is hewn from the stone, approximately 25 by 25 feet, and you can see a door embedded in the wall, also made of stone. On the opposite side of the chamber, those of you with dark vision can see that it's dim lighting, so any perception checks, etc., will be done at disadvantage, and you can just make out, the grayscale image of this room.
This is why I wanted a torch, so we wouldn't have a disadvantage. Well, Grady's gonna look around then,
Okay.
and
Perception disadvantage.
Did you make fire?
16.
I mean, I
Only
can
the-
make lights, but nobody's asked me to, and we were stealthing, so
Well,
I can
why
make
don't we-
fire, but it doesn't last very long. It just shoots out and then hits something and dissipates.
I can make dancing lights.
How long do those last?
It's a concentration. So
Well-
as long as I'm concentrating on it, I guess.
Don't they last
Or-
like 10
I
minutes
think
or
up
something?
to 1 minute. So not as good as some other ones.
Okay.
Anyway.
You, with a check of 16, you look around the room. You can't see anything obvious, but what this does strike you is that this room is suspiciously devoid. The only thing in here is the door that you're able to tell.
So this door is the only thing in here, guys. The only thing in here. And repeat, that's it. Nothing else.
Aravan will use his divine sense.
Okay, like perfumes or
Yes, he's going to open up a special bottle that he has. Yeah. This is delightful, isn't it? No,
Aravan
divine-
number 5.
No, the divine sense is as an action you can detect good and evil. Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell. Know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that's not behind cover.
Okay.
So
So with that in mind, you kind of grab your holy symbol, I guess, paladin-ish,
Right.
just
sure,
built
yeah,
in.
paladin,
sort of
holy
nature,
symbol,
yeah.
sure, yeah.
And you concentrate and you extend out, and you can feel the goodness or perhaps the evilness of your party that is nearby. It's sort of coming through as mixed signals at best from them.
At best.
Yeah. You get a completely clear reading of the 5-foot room. Sorry, of the 25-foot room. 5-foot room. And you
Back in the map.
Yes. You don't get anything that registers really beyond that.
All right. Nothing in the immediate area, I guess. So
Do
then
we know
Aravan-
that all these walls are walls?
They look like walls.
That was more a rhetorical question for the rest of the group.
Okay, Qwerty touches the wall on the other side of the door and then just, drags her hand across it as she walks all the way around the room.
Okay. As you do that, the stone is cool and smooth to the touch. You find the occasional ripple in the stonework where it has been hand carved. It's not smooth stone around the place. When you get up as far as the door, do you keep going, or do you skip the door and go?
I go all the way around to the other side of the door.
Sure. This takes you a few minutes to do, but you successfully touch all the walls and confirm that they are walls.
They're definitely walls. Can't believe I have to check that for you.
You didn't have to. I merely made an observation.
You could have checked it. They're right there.
You seemed just really gung-ho about the whole thing. I didn't want to interrupt. Is there... Did you say this cave was wet? Or is
Where
that
the
just
waterfall was, yes, but in here, no, it's dry and dusty and hasn't
Is
been
it-
used for a while.
Closed.
The door is closed, yeah.
I'm gonna open the door. Can I open the door?
Yeah, you certainly can. No, I'm kidding. As you go up to the door, you put your hands on it, and unusually for a stone door, you were expecting it to slide. It opens on stone hinges, revealing a corridor and then another room at the bottom. And on the corridor on your right-hand side, there appears to be, in an alcove, a small shrine or statue or something of that nature, just sort of a bit carved out with the statue placed in it.
Is it... I'm gonna do investigation, I guess, on the statue, see if I can figure out what it's a statue of.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
That'd be a 15.
So it's actually a statue of a gargoyle, but it's quite an artistically expressed gargoyle. It has this sort of, wide-eyed look to it. Its wings, one of which has been cut off or, disappeared, crumbled, lost to time. And it is just, angrily looking basically at the wall opposite, with a sort of expression on its face.
For the radio listeners, that looked like he wanted to eat something. Lennon looked like he wanted pizza.
Switch.
And Alarahel will make an appearance shortly, but I need to step off stream to deal with something, so good timing. Thank you. Carry on.
Okay.
Be careful.
Carl says that he doesn't trust the fact that the previous room was empty, so he's going to stand rear guard at that door that we just came through.
All right. Eravan will say that probably a good idea. Have somebody watch our backs, and he will check the gargoyle for traps, levers, other hidden things like that.
Birdie is going to kind of peer to the other side of the gargoyle and look where the gargoyle's looking and go.
All right, can QWERTY make a perception check? Alarahel make an investigation check, please.
6.
8.
Okay, so QWERTY, you are treated to a different and unique perspective on the opposite wall that seems singularly uninformative. Alarahel, you do not notice anything unusual or different about the statue than the initial look seemed to suggest.
Eravan will say, well, this is boring. And he'll start walking down the hall looking for traps.
Okay. Actively looking for traps?
Yep. He doesn't trust it either.
And Amani, are you doing anything in particular, or are you just going along with the crowd?
This is so out of my normal expertise. I'm just gonna go with the, people who look like they know what they're doing.
Okay. So perception check to identify traps.
14.
At this point, Alarahel walks back down the stairs, drenched, soaking wet, but chewing on some sort of thing on a stick.
Can Alarahel make a dexterity save, please?
No, he cannot. 3.
Okay, so you take 1 point of damage as Carl trips you on your way through the door.
My candy floss, my cotton candy, just splats on the floor and then disintegrates.
Aww.
All right.
So you missed a thorough examination of the gargoyle statue that revealed precisely nothing.
And also a good look at the opposite wall where the gargoyle was standing.
Yes.
Wanted to know what it was looking at.
Makes sense.
He was mad at something.
The investigation for traps revealed nothing overt, but the center of the cavern has been walked on or eroded in some way so often that the stone itself is actually almost as slippery as ice. So if you carelessly walk down the middle of it, you stand a good chance of slipping.
Eravan will carefully walk down the middle where it's well-tread, the well-tread path.
So-
do you warn your companions?
I do. I say,
Okay.
stick to the path and walk carefully. We're not the first people to have done this before.
So is there like a drop off on either side? Are we talking like Mario ice cubes?
No, it's more just that the pathway starts to form a little bit of a funnel, and the center of it, like I said, the stone has been smoothed over so much that it's actually almost as slippery as ice.
Okay, in that case, QWERTY goes, dude, you better get out of the way, and she makes a running jump and lands on her stomach and starts sliding.
Okay. That actually works. QWERTY slides down. Do you get out of the way, or do you try to block her progress?
Oh no, absolutely not. No. If she's barreling through, Eravan will stand aside.
Does QWERTY have dark vision?
Yes.
Okay, so you slide down for another 60 feet, and you
You just
end up,
hear her going, wee all the way.
So you roll into another room and you feel the floor give just slightly.
Uh-oh.
And then you hear a viscous sound. And you notice that the room that you're now in is somewhat
covered in molasses. And about that time, Critty goes, "That's you!" and transforms into a potted plant. And and the rest of you guys come down.
I pick up the potted plant, stick it in my pack.
A lot more slowly than Critty did. There's now a fairly thick coating of molasses there, so you kind of have to.
I'm using levitate.
Okay, well, I'm saying you kind of have to wiggle her out of
out of the molasses.
If she slid 60 feet, does anybody have dark vision that could have seen her turn into a potted plant, or do we walk into a chamber? You've seen it. Okay, fine.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, when Carl gets back up to the group, who I assume everybody was just waiting because they heard the sneeze, I'm able to see 60 feet down and go, there's either a very progressive interior decorator who lives in that cave, or our sorcerer is now a plant.
Saw it. Plant. It's her.
Okay.
She, now plant. Also blue. I don't know. I just expect the unexpected, I guess, is how I want to say it. That's how this
Well,
is
it is called chaos for a reason.
If she keeps to pattern, we're looking at either a fungus or some sort of amoeba next, so. Because she's hit every other kingdom.
The molasses continues to seep over the walls and onto the floor, and after a little bit, there's about an inch of molasses on the floor, and it's heavy enough that you hear the sound of it like pressing down on something, and you hear a piece of stone kind of give way, and then off to one side, a portion of the wall slides upward, and there is a glowing orb on a pedestal.
That looks promising.
Whoever designed this place has an obsession with obelisks I'm not sure is healthy.
The other one wasn't an obelisk. It was a big tablet.
So are we in this room where the stone was giving way, or were we outside of it?
You didn't feel the stone give way. You heard a mechanism happen. Yeah,
and now there's a glowing orb,
and a portion of the wall slid up.
Door. Gotcha. Alarahel would like to carefully step in towards the and actually dip his finger in, and he's a survivalist. It's the sort of thing that he would do to check. I want to make sure
very sweet.
Yeah,
it's very, very sweet.
Mm-hmm. I've heard tales of this from a kingdom across the sea called America, where everything is just really sugary. It's bad news, guys. Bad news.
I don't believe in that place. You're lying.
No, it's a whole new world.
Which?
Okay. So yeah, so there's a glowing pedestal and the floor covered with molasses. As that happens once again, as you might expect, there's another blue portal that opens up behind you, and the pointy-hatted wizard sticks his head out again. Are you still doing this? Whatever it is you're doing? Yes.
Yeah. What's happened to your hair? It's really pointy.
No, it's hat. It's hat hair.
Oh, right.
It goes up there and stays. I mean, then I sweat a little bit, and it just kind of maintains that shape. A good wash that goes right back to normal. In any event, so molasses. Okay, right. That's interesting. I'm glad.
Amani hears that. Let me out from her bag.
It seems like you have someone in your backpack. Is that happening here? Is there someone in your backpack?
I completely forgot. I thought it was weird that my bag was wiggling.
Yes,
Switch.
It's wiggling.
As
You're busy. You're busy. I'll leave. You're busy.
Bye.
I'll let you get back to that.
Critty pops her head out of the backpack. Bye.
Your backpack flies open and QWERTY's head like pops out of it. Yeah, so you're there, the floor, the orb, the molasses. What do you guys want to do?
Bake cookies! No, I'm just kidding.
So Al put his finger in and tasted it. Aravan's going to put his toe out and kind of dip in it. Is it traversable? Is it
It's
difficult terrain?
It does sort of begin to cover your shoes. You know, it is quite deep in there, and it's thick. And so, yeah, difficult terrain is definitely a good label to apply to this.
So where did Alarahel go?
If you turn around and look for him, you can't actually see him. You do not know.
The swallowed Alarahel.
Sorry?
The molasses swallowed Alarahel.
But no,
I don't see a
Alarahel
problem with this.
no. Alarahel, if you'll recall, was swallowing the molasses just a second ago. I don't think that
It was revenge.
Got back at him.
Could be.
We're actually walking on a giant ooze monster.
So
And with that, Aaron,
I'm
pull
gonna-
something out
Say
of
that out loud.
I'm gonna stay up here in the backpack, okay?
Actually, you're totally fine up there. I'm levitating. You're in my bag, so, you know.
You're not actually touching the ground?
Yeah, I'm levitating.
Oh, you should go check out that orb then.
Well, I mean, I was waiting till everybody was done arguing.
I'm not. Aravan's like, wiping off the bottom of his boot. He's like, I don't think these are new. I don't want to walk through that.
as you whoosh over towards the orb, molasses pouring out of the secret compartment in the wall in a very slow waterfall. You can see that there is the
Molasses
orb.
ball.
It wasn't actually on a pedestal.
Yeah.
It appears as if
Mhm.
there's a hand coming out of the molasses, gripping
Like a hand.
like a hand. It looks
Like a fleshy hand?
Make a perception check with disadvantage because it's dark. You can make out outlines and shades of grey. You can't
Well,
tell.
wait, isn't
The
the orb glowing?
is glowing.
That is true. Just a perception check there. In fact, no. If the orb is glowing, then yes, it appears to be a fleshy hand. Fleshy hand.
Just
Fleshy
roll
hand.
4 d20s and pick one at random.
Happily.
That's this game.
So,
Yes.
so
Banana.
change
I've
your
rolled
mind.
banana.
Nix the perception check.
Yes. It's a fleshy hand holding.
It's a fleshy hand.
Holding
That's
an orb.
disgusting.
Mhm.
This may be a roll. Does it look like the fleshy hand continues on to be attached to a body, or is it just like
The elbow.
is it like Thing from the Addams
No,
Family?
you can just see like from this part upwards. So just above the elbow upwards, and the arm is
I
holding it.
grab the wrist instead of the orb, and I lift up.
There is nothing on the end of it. It is just bone and sinew
Oh.
and molasses.
Well, I got the thing, and I float back with the hand and the orb.
Okay, you've got the hand. you've got
before-
the orb.
Before you get close enough so that all of us are in a potential blast radius, do you think you could ask the short one on your back if it's magical in any way, other than the obvious?
What is this?
Birdie makes an Arcana check and rolls hold on, I think I have a +4 in Arcana. Yeah, that's a 13.
13. With a roll of a 13, you're in one of two minds. Either this is an orb of fireball, or it's an orb of knock.
Of what?
Knock.
Knock.
Knock is a spell that will unlock a
Knock.
Knock. There you go.
Knock.
Knock.
Sounds like you were saying nook.
Knock.
I'm like, what?
Knack, tough guy. Knack.
Nook?
Yes. In the American version of D&D, it is called knack. This
Knack.
Okay, well, this is either going to help us open the next door we find, or it's going to blow us up. So,
50-50 chance, huh?
yeah,
Technically, if it blows up, that would also help us open the next
Well,
door.
that's true.
not necessarily. Some doors are fireproof.
Party,
Saying,
party.
ask me how I know.
Just let Carl believe things.
But I have to talk. It's in my name.
So there's no other doors in there? I mean, we've got the elbowless arm and the glowy ball of some magical nature.
Well, I haven't seen any other doors. Do you guys see any other doors?
As much as I
can't see much
appreciate
of anything.
as much as I appreciate the morbid tableau there, is there any way to separate the orb from the arm?
I mean, I didn't try. I could probably just take the orb off the hand, but I didn't do that. Would you like me to do that?
I'll say,
Well, you're
"Yes,
carrying
in
it."
just a moment," and then he'll walk 30 feet back down the hallway and go, "Try it now!"
Yeah, that is
Hey.
exactly what I'm trying.
Maybe I should do it, Amani.
Okay. And I reach the whole hand back to
Okay,
my
so
backpack. This is really
Like, there you go.
uncomfortable, by the way.
Pretty grabs the wrist of it and just grabs the fireball or the orb and tries to
Sure.
pull it off.
So as you pull it off the hand just goes
Thumbs up
thumbs up.
for the people on the radio. That was a thumbs up from me.
We're not an audio show, it's fine. Yeah, it just gives a thumbs up, and you are now holding an orb in your hand, relatively weighty.
I feel
Feels
like
like
we're
it's
in like a Three Stooges episode now.
Well, this is cool. It doesn't look terribly insanguine to me, though. I mean
does
the
it have
hand
blood
kind of
in it?
did. The hand kind of did, but I don't know. Usually, stuff that still has blood in it is pretty squishy, and that was kind of a squishy hand. So maybe it wasn't ensanguined. I don't know.
everybody
I'm
who's
not sure
watching
that
the
this is-
stream. I just want to say, everybody who was watching the stream saw me open a tab because I forgot I have Owlbear Rodeo streaming and type in "is molasses flammable."
Well,
I need to know these things.
I guess we know what his next move is.
I mean, at a certain temperature, everything's kind of flammable. I mean,
999 degrees Fahrenheit, just FYI.
Everything's
FYI.
flammable if you try hard enough. Switch.
As you hear from sort of around where Erevan is, as Alara Hell kind of comes up out of the molasses, drenched head to toe.
I told you it tried to eat him.
No, I slipped when I bent down to. Yeah.
That's what it wants you to think.
It's probably more like
Who knew I could
We
hold
not-
my breath for between 1 and 20 minutes?
Are you one of my people?
How did we not
No.
hear you? You're so loud at everything.
Well, the bagpipes filled with molasses as I sunk.
Oh, okay. I'll accept that explanation. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Listen,
All right, so is the crowd heading back up the pathway, or are
It
you
seems like
staying
this
to
is-
look?
I mean, we didn't see any more doors or anything. Can Erevan roll perception to see if there's any more doors or anything in that
it
room?
might be under
In the molasses room?
Yeah, in the molasses room.
Yes.
Can you find hidden doors?
I mean, I don't know. Can I make a perception roll?
That's
of
very
a-
helpful.
Of a perception roll of a. Come on, an 11. With a perception roll of an 11, can I find hidden doors in the molasses room?
The molasses room appears to be as it was when you first arrived, except now there's more molasses on the floor and the hidden alcove where the morbid orb used to be.
Morbid orb. I dig that. That's what we're gonna call it now.
Kinda
the
like it.
morbid orb. Yeah. All right.
This is why he does the writing for the show.
Right. Yeah. FET. So Erevan will report back. Maybe this is the thing that the sonar magic pinged on. I mean, it seems fairly magical. Maybe this is what we're supposed to find here, which means we got to go to the caves now, which is where I wanted to go in the first place. I'll just remind you all. That's what I wanted to do.
Well, it is what you want to do. Yes, we understand.
So are you walking back up the semi-slippery path?
Yes.
Not slippery for me, 'cause
Carefully.
I'm sticky as heck.
Yeah, he's fine. Al's fine. He can get up there. Yeah, but no, yeah, Erevan's carefully walking back up the path.
Has it been over 10 minutes? This whole exchange?
I would say probably.
Okay, then I'm not levitating anymore.
All right, so everybody walks back up the semi-slippery path that you started down, and when you arrive back at the room where the path started, you notice there is a new opening that was not there before. It appears that, or at least it looks like, somehow part of the wall just fell and opened up a jagged gap in the cave wall.
Is this
What
where the
did you do,
gargoyle was
Al?
staring?
This is where the gargoyle was staring.
Oh.
How did we miss that? Those are such good rolls.
The confusing thing is that despite it appearing as if part of the wall collapsed, there is no rubble or rock or anything on the ground.
That's weird.
That's curious.
Everybody will stick his head in the opening, see if there's anything going on the other side.
It appears to be a natural cavern or a natural cave tunnel. This is not hewn or carved or even chewed through.
Perfectly normal, guys. There's nothing to worry about.
Cool.
Everything's
and
fine.
Alara
here.
Hell walks down the corridor.
See, he believes me.
He's going to check for traps as he goes, though.
What an
He
idiot.
squishes down the corridor.
Yeah.
He
Let's
stickily
be honest.
traverses. Yep.
It's like Chucky from Rugrats.
What type of roll do you want for checking for
Perception,
traps?
which unless you're carrying the orb is still at disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't roll lower than a 1. So, 5.
Okay, so you do not notice anything amiss about the corridor. How far down do you want to traverse?
How far down can I get before there is something other than corridor?
60 feet.
I will go 60 feet down that corridor.
All right, so you go 60 feet down the corridor.
I'm following
And,
with the orb.
okay.
Aren't you still in my backpack?
I can climb down.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, then we're following.
The only
I'm just
non-sticky one
imagining
amongst
you like
us.
Ratatouille. You're directing me by my hair.
So is everyone following Al?
Everyone will take up the rear.
Okay.
I just didn't want to
Uh,
step in the molasses.
So you get to the end of the corridor, and there is what looks like if someone was somehow able to take a nearly perfect sphere out of a whole bunch of rock and just completely remove all the stone that would have been involved. This pathway is about a third of the way up from the bottom of the sphere. So it looks like there's between a 40 to 50 foot rolling drop into the center, and the whole cavern appears to be about 150 feet in diameter. It is
Perfect.
also glowing red.
Just like the orb that I'm holding?
No, the orb you're holding is glowing white.
Oh.
This cavern seems to, for some reason, be glowing red. It's a dim light, so not completely brightening everything. And
Okay.
you're guessing the spherical shape based on an innate knowledge of pi-based geometry that I'm temporarily giving everyone because I already described it and I don't want to describe why you know that.
Did I put that on my stat sheet? Under,
Hate
is
this
that a
knowledge.
feature? Is that a
Proficiency
feature or a
with
No,
trait?
you-
Someone scrubbed my brain.
You acquired it and then immediately lost it. So it was a brief spark of inspiration.
Okay, so the room is X by Y. What is it?
150
It's
feet?
150 feet in diameter, glowing red.
Oh, the
Natural
room is circular.
rock.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
No, the room is a sphere.
Oh, and we're about halfway up. Now I see. Yeah, that's what I was trying to... Okay.
Yeah.
He said it was like a sphere that someone just removed all the
Hmm.
stone from.
Yeah.
So, when you say we're halfway up it, do you mean like
No, I
we're
said
in
a
a
third of the way.
dome? Okay, well, you say we're a
So
third way up.
if
Is it like
you
we're in a dome, or we're actually the whole room is a sphere and we're like going up a platform?
Sphere,
Yeah, I know what a sphere is. Thank you.
your platform or your corridor.
Okay,
All right,
So it's
So-
about
so it's,
about 40. It's about 50 feet from where your corridor intersects to the ventral point.
okay. So
And
so
then-
we're at an opening into this.
Yes.
Okay,
So
Gotcha.
the ceiling is about 100 feet up.
gotcha. Okay,
So if we looked down, there's a bowl shape sort of beneath us that could
Right.
hold like
I get it.
millions
I
of
get
gallons
it.
of molasses.
We're in
Yes.
Epcot.
We could be in a molasses
Or
swimming
Casa
pool at any
Mañana.
moment.
As an
don't even
arcane-
go there,
As an
Aravan.
arcane archer with arcane in the focus here, I'd like to. I don't have detect magic, but I would like to see if I know something that would cause this or what this glowing red could be. Something like that.
Okay.
Is that an acceptable thing to roll for?
Yes, with an Arcana check.
Yep.
I idly sit there and think, I bet this place has amazing acoustics.
22.
22. The glowing red is definitely not natural.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be demonic in nature. It could also be divine in nature.
Sure.
But someone would need to make a religion check to figure out what.
Hey, Carl, can you just? Oh.
Yeah,
Where'd
Carl
Carl
didn't
go?
follow you down
I
the
think he got sick of
corridor.
us and just stayed behind.
He probably got stuck in the
mention-
molasses.
Do you mention this? It could be divine. It could
Yes,
be demonic.
I tell the rest of the group.
Then, as an action, Airman will go, "Oh yeah," and then he'll do divine sense again to detect good and evil. I can sense anything affected by a house spell, celestial fiend, undead, etc., etc.
Sorry, can you give me the details on that again?
As an action, you can detect good and evil. Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell, or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet, not behind total cover. I can use the feature 4 times per long rest. That's the second time I've used it.
Okay. You do not sense any particular entities that are exhibiting good or evil, but there is a general sense of. Well, it's not great.
It's
Evil
Is
is
it
putting
diet
it
evil?
a little strong, but
it's diet evil.
yeah,
Just 1 calorie, not evil enough. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But it's not sugar free. We already learned that.
Right, yeah, there's a whole pile of it in the other room. Yeah, okay. So I'll warn everyone. I don't want to alarm anybody, but we may be approaching evil.
Diet evil.
Diet evil. Like, not really bad evil, but like a not great kind of evil. And then
Like
Aravan...
jaywalking evil, or
Let me see if I can get a better sense of this. And then Aravan will cast Detect Magic, using up one of his spell slots. He's loath to do, but he does anyway. So then he'll. And is there like a pathway around the bottom of that sphere? Does it encircle it, or do I have to go down into the bowl if I want to go closer?
So you make a perception check.
Already.
better thee than me. Mine have sucked.
All right, we've got a 19. 19 on perception.
Okay, at the bottom of the bowl, there is definitely something that is carved.
And is it magical? Because I've got my detect magic spell going for the next 10 minutes.
It seems like it, but it's a very low-level magic at the moment.
Is it abjuration, conjuration, evocation?
Is it orb shaped?
Would an orb fit into this?
You're not close enough to tell. You'd have to go down there.
All right. Aravan will go, I see something down there. I'm going to go check it out.
Okay.
It's kind of
Bye.
slightly magical. Slightly. Remember me fondly and think well of me. Goodbye, my
I will
friends.
say things at your funeral.
Is anyone
Oh,
going
not
with
you.
him?
Anybody but you.
Pretty will. Gertie will start going that way.
All right. So when you get down there, you find a carved ring that has it's a pattern, fairly simple, but it is carved. There's a skull followed by a droplet, followed by a skull all the way around. And in the middle, there is another pedestal with a bowl at the top of it. The bowl appears to perfectly fit the orb that you're carrying, or rather, the orb will fit perfectly within the bowl.
Am I tall enough to reach it by myself?
you would have to jump if you're standing. It's about the top of the lip of the bowl is about 3 feet off the ground.
So a slam dunk, is that what?
Yeah, you'd have to slam dunk it.
Scotty Pippen.
Okay. Hey, Aravan, can you stick this in there for me?
We sure this is a good idea?
Well, it's either knock or fireball, and I'm assuming knock because, well, fireball would be bad.
Hand it over.
It's 50-50 chance. Here you go.
It's good. Back. Get back. Go back up. There's no sense in both of us dying.
I know, man. I'm gonna stay with you.
See, and he'll aim back up there. Some people are cool.
Oh, that's me, and I walk down to join them.
Okay.
Take out my flute and start playing taps.
Aravan will put the orb in the bowl.
Okay, so Aravan, Al, and QWERTY are all down there when you put the orb in the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I need everyone to make a Constitution save, except for Amani.
12.
11.
And
Okay. So I need you, and sorry, it's me. Everyone has to do math now. Everyone start at 20. Subtract whatever you got from your save.
okay.
Then whatever you have left, reduce that from your hit point total.
Okie doke.
I don't have to math. I don't have to math.
I need everyone to make a second Constitution save.
Except me again.
Except you again.
Okay.
17.
13.
Button. No. 15.
All right, again with the subtraction. And then one more time, please.
I'm sorry. Are we still taking down our hit points?
Yes.
Okay. Can QWERTY down a potion real quick?
Well, it's not reducing your hit points, it's reducing your hit point total. So technically
Oh,
you
the
should
max
still be
hit.
full.
I see.
That
Your
I did
max
not get
hit
that.
points.
Yeah, it's reducing your max hit points.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so by this third roll, I'm negative at this point here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Roll better.
As am I. I'm also
I
negative.
I am almost negative, but I'm not quite there yet.
All right, so
Really low.
as Aravan and Al fall to the ground, lifeless, the orb is now glowing red. The cavern has dimmed, and it looks like the orb is full of swirling, thick red liquid. And QWERTY, very exhausted and barely clinging on to energy, is left kneeling or standing there.
In a bowl of their own blood. I'm guessing. And there's nothing that I can even do because I don't have anything that gives temporary hit points.
That was not pleasant.
Hey, come back! Quick!
QWERTY's going to mage hand the orb back out of there.
Good call.
Okay. It is removed without incident.
Hold on. That's my spell.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Oh,
we're good.
no.
We're good. You're fine.
Okay. Chaos eludes us this time.
Amani, I can't pull these guys up there by myself.
Well, technically I can only levitate one creature. So you're gonna have to pick one.
Can you do that twice more, maybe?
Well, maybe. We can try.
Okay, so Amani's gonna cast levitate, and Qwerty's going to try pushing the body back up there.
Whose body?
We're gonna go with which one of you is smaller?
I can levitate up to 500 pounds.
Oh, okay. In that case, hold on. Evens, Lennon, odds, Tony. Okay, so I'm gonna do RaeRae first.
Just a very brief timer here. We've got 10 minutes before we're due to wrap up. So I'm going to say, unfortunately, no more switches. Ostron is going to see out the narrative from this point.
Aw, can't we just switch one more time?
I mean, we were about to anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, in that case,
Bring it on,
Qwerty
Ostron.
pushes him
Land
up
this
there.
plane.
All right, so do you eventually get both of them back up there?
I assume so. I don't know. Do I,
don't
Mr.
know, do
GM?
We'll say for the sake of argument, you managed to get both of the bodies back up. We'll also say that Carl comes by and attempts to help you carry them. However, he examines them and goes, "They are stone dead. Like, they just do not have any life force for me to work with. Not that I'm very much in the habit of healing people, but there's nothing I can work with here, so..."
Well, maybe not right now, but they're my friends, and we're gonna take them back at least for a burial, okay?
Well, yeah, I wasn't saying leave them here. Really?
Al would want to be
much
buried in the
out loud?
molasses.
Besides, I'm pretty sure that I can find some cleric somewhere who will actually care about resurrecting them.
Fine, we'll take them back to the castle at the
I'll write a
capital
beautiful song about them.
and
Oh yeah,
play it on
Vermilion's waiting for us, isn't he?
and play it on Al's bagpipes, I'm sure. Can we get a move on? So do either of you want to do anything in particular in the cave structure before you leave?
I scoop up a vial of molasses and anoint Al with it. How he'd want to go.
All right, thus anointed, you start making your way back through the jungle. The area where Al has been anointed is attracting all manner of insects. The mosquitoes at least give up after a very brief survey, but he's got friends all the way home. You return to the castle, and Vermicelli calls the court magicians in. Well, I assume you present them with the orb.
His name was Valheim.
Do you present them with the orb, or?
Answer the question!
So we found this, but it turns out
I'm not
it's
feeling
real
so
bad.
good. Yeah, I'm
And,
not feeling very good. Do you want to take this from me?
I don't know if you really want this.
Well,
'Cause
they
didn't
they
do
asked-
so well with it.
they ask you to set it on the ground, and they summon in the court magicians, who examine it thoroughly, and then get really excited and declare that this was in fact the artifact that they were looking for. And the king calls both of you over and says, "Congratulations, we knew you could do it." Well, okay, we didn't know you could do it. We knew someone could do it, and you happen to be around. We thank you
Vernacular
for
knew
your
we could do it.
we thank you for your service. There's 15,000 gold as a reward for those of you who are left. My daughters are at the local Sabaros.
I don't
because
need those.
They wouldn't go anywhere near the Pizza Hut. If anyone's interested, go speak to them. I mean, that's on you. I don't control them. They're their own people. If you can strike up something, then more power to you. I'm really
Amani,
sorry.
I think. Sorry.
I'm really sorry about your friends, but demon invasion and good of the many and all that. So,
That's cool. I bet we can go buy a couple diamonds with this to get them resurrected. So I'm okay with it.
all right, yes. And if you want to use the diamonds instead to, I don't know, maybe propose, then that's an option too.
I believe I just said I didn't want them.
Well,
You're gonna
yes,
have to
but-
keep those kids of yours. Sorry.
Maybe Carl wants them. What do you think, Carl?
Carl's already left.
Oh.
He's so done with all of this.
And
Worst
on that
idea
note,
ever.
and on that note, the camera pans up into the sky as birds fly off into the sunset, and yeah, that's where we're going to
Caravan and Alarel are still dead.
We just hear the flies buzzing around Al.
One, we were killed by math. That has never happened to me before ever. Two, we were looking for the I can't even remember the name of the artifact that I came up with now.
The orb of the exuberant
Exuberant, and we
Exsanguination.
exsanguinated
Exsanguination.
exuberantly, I think we'll find. So, okay, well, yeah, thanks guys for joining. Hopefully that was just as chaotic for the listeners as it felt for us playing it here. A couple of rounds of an arcade game halfway through. A room full of molasses. I mean, what adventure isn't complete without all of that?
My friends, that, my friends, is official D&D material. That's out of the Rick and Morty book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
is it?
Out of the Rick and
wow.
Morty book.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I thought you were
it's
just ripping
canon.
off Gauntlet or something.
It's canon. It's canon, folks.
That's I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, all of that in the middle of a forest jungle, because that's just how D&D is sometimes. So
That's how it is sometimes.
we're gonna take a break. We're gonna get ready for episode 200, the live recording. We hope to see you back here in approximately 15-20 minutes with as many of the staff as we can round up. Until then, sit tight and we'll speak to you shortly. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.